I want let you do. Baba God, I want already. Láti gbó ẹ̀bẹ̀ wá sókè sí ọ, gẹ́gẹ́ bí ó ti gbọ́ àdúrà ìjà. Baba gbọ́ àdúrà mi, gẹ́gẹ́ bí ó ti gbọ́ àdúrà ìjà. Baba gbọ́ àdúrà mi. Baba God, I want already. Láti gbó àdúrà nìkan ni mo mọ̀ mo fi ń kọ̀kùn wọn pa láwo wà pẹ̀lú adáhùn ṣe ẹrù mi gbé lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ bàbá bá ní gbé. Cause I believe in you only. I'm a sinner, I know they from say I'm too holy. All my enemies see dribble with no mercy. I know they brag, come on, I don't let lesson. Àdàbí tí bá ló ti wọ́n náírà wọ́n fọwọ́ ṣoògùn mọ́ ogun yẹn ò fẹ́ mọ́ wọn. Àdàbí tí wọ́n mi fi vakéṣe wọn wọ́n pọ̀ fọ̀ ṣùgbọ́n olúwa máa gbé dé wọn. Well, I'm just alone with my God. I tire for this sport, so I pray make a pot. I believe in my lima, Jehovah and my sword. Yes, Jehovah and my boss. Baba God, I'm ready. Láti gbó ẹ̀bẹ̀ wá sókè sí ọ, gẹ́gẹ́ bí ó ti gbọ́ àdúrà ìjà. Baba gbọ́ àdúrà mi, gẹ́gẹ́ bí ó ti gbọ́ àdúrà ìjà. Baba gbọ́ àdúrà mi. Ọ̀nà mímọ́ wá gbé wá ga òkúre, má ṣe jẹ́ kí jìyà yìí kó wá lọ. Tètè wá sínú àdébà, torí wọ́n ní àmọ̀nà ẹ̀mí ọdún sọ̀kalẹ̀ o. Tètè wá sínú àdébà, torí wọ́n ní àmọ̀nà ẹ̀mí ọdún sọ̀kalẹ̀ o. Bàbá yẹ ṣàánú mi, bí mo ṣe rí ẹjọ́ máa tẹ̀lé mi. Nítorí ilé ayé gbogbo, ilé ayé tún mi, ẹ̀mí ọdún sọ̀kalẹ̀ o. Baba God, I'm ready. Láti gbó ẹ̀bẹ̀ wá sókè sí ọ, gẹ́gẹ́ bí ó ti gbọ́ àdúrà ìjà. Baba gbọ́ àdúrà mi, gẹ́gẹ́ bí ó ti gbọ́ àdúrà ìjà. Baba gbọ́ àdúrà mi. Baba ilé ẹ̀kọ́ lè pọ̀ tó wá ẹ̀mí, lẹ́yìn ẹ̀ṣọ́ làwọn náà ní ẹ̀fọ́ ní méjì. I want let you do. Baba God, I'm ready. Láti gbó ẹ̀bẹ̀ wá sókè sí ọ, gẹ́gẹ́ bí ó ti gbọ́ àdúrà ìjà. Baba gbọ́ àdúrà mi, gẹ́gẹ́ bí ó ti gbọ́ àdúrà ìjà. Baba hallelujah, òdèlé ayọ̀. Èmi já hallelujah, èmi já. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining in, and I just want to welcome each and every one. Can you guys hear me, please? I want to make sure that everybody can hear me. Good afternoon, good morning. It's good morning with me, but I know it's already noonday in some part of the world. My name is, I remain Victor King, and I'm still your host. Okay, great. Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. Like every other time, I'm super excited. Unfortunately, yesterday I was walking all through the day, but I was having a snippet of what is going on, and I want to say thank you to each and every one of you who have been so concerned and reaching out to me. Like my phone was bopping. Even my phone knows that there's something was wrong. Thank you to every one of you who show so much concern. So there are certain people I don't even know you by name. People call and cry on the phone. Unfortunately, I'm not that kind of an emotional person. So sometimes people call and cry and they say, "What's going on?" And people say, "Tell me it's a lie." And I'm like, "Okay, if you already tell me what to tell you, I'll just tell you what you want me to tell you." But for me personally, I needed to reflect as much as, aside from the fact that I was really super busy, I needed to just, I don't approach things like that. You know, I don't think it is wise for me. It is always good to be quick to hear, but slow to speak. You know, it's always good to, quick to hear and slow to speak. So for me, I was trying to be subtle about it and then get my fact right. I needed to get it right. I needed to put calls through and know what is going on and know what is obtainable. I wanted to get real figures. I wanted to not just act. Ẹ̀gbọ́n báyọ̀ la gbé ìwé. Ẹ fi mí lẹ́jọ́. I wanted to, lay my hands on facts and figures, then reflect on it. Because for me,
Integrity matters. Integrity is like number one thing for me. I want to be sure that whatever that proceed out of my mouth is what is obtainable and what is tenable. I don't speak out of emotions. I'm sorry, I don't have it. I have to talk based on what I can put on the table. So I spend the whole day at work and then spend the whole night studying, making phone calls, and here we are. And please, I want to beg you, do me one more favor. Please share this show because I'm going to say some really salient things that might be heavy for some ears to understand. I know that everybody has been anticipating this moment. And one thing I will promise you is I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to mix words. I'm not going to sugarcoat words for you. I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. Tell me it's a lie. Well, it's a true. But what you need to know, I will let you know. So let us, before we forge ahead, so that we don't have a reason to be, feeding back and feeding forward, please just click the share button and let us just spread this across because we are going to need it. We'll need it. Please, just click the share button. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. Doesn't cost anything. And then we can forge ahead. I don't want to go to an extent. I have a whole lot in a very little time. I have a wedding to attend today and the rest of the weekend. I'm in a good mood right now. I'm in a good space. So I really don't have all the time to spend here. Yeah. Now, so please let's share. And another thing I would like to say is that let me appeal to each and every one of you not to bother about negative comments. We expect them. People called me last night and they was like, oh, they said so much thing about you. Please don't bother about what somebody update for you. I'm like, I didn't even see it. Said this person updates all that. I said, who is that? I don't even know who that is. And I'm like, oh, they've cursed you out. They rain curses. They did it, and I just laugh. Like for real, do you think I don't expect that? I expect that. And it's okay. It's allowed. In life, there are hills and valleys, The end will justify the means. And what they don't know is this. There are two sides to a coin. You can see half full and half empty. The fact that I have a contrary opinion to you doesn't mean I'm your enemy. You don't try to change people's opinion. This is how I feel. This is how you feel. That's it. I don't understand how they are drawing a wall of attrition and belligerency over what makes no sense. Is your opinion that's this depending on the side you are looking from? This is my opinion depending on the side. Till this world will end, there will always be two parts to every story. You will be stupid to try to make somebody else see from your own direction. Stick to what you believe. So now, when you look as if your side is winning, it's just like a game of football or soccer. If this side is winning, there's going to be noise on this side. You score a goal, so all the fans will throw their jersey and throw their banner. There's going to be a lot of noise, and even imagine if it's Super Eagle, they will blow trumpets, they will sing. Those days when we play soccer in secondary school, we have so many songs we sing when we are winning. We sing, I want to man, keeper to man, all those songs of you cheering because you score a goal, but you have not won the match. So when this side score another goal too, they will sing. So when you are losing, there are songs for it. You start singing a song of prayer to see whether you're. So the fact that your team, your side, scored a goal, there will be noise, there will be cheering. It's normal. Don't hate them for cheering. They are supposed to cheer. They are supposed to have all of the dramas you saw. Anyone that did not expect that, you are not being realistic with yourself. They should be cheering. But what they don't realize is the fact that your side score a goal does not mean your side will win the match. If the final whistle is not blown yet, well, by the time the other side score a goal, there will be cheering. But you see, where we will know who will who's really going to be victorious is who lift the trophy. And one thing I know for sure, and I am not shaking, I am certain about it, is that the gate of hell will not prevail against the church of God. One thing I know without any iota of doubt is that the wrath of the wicked shall not fall on the righteous. One thing I know for sure is that there is no evil that lasts. So don't bother. What do I want to say? Don't expect them here today. So expect the comments, I'm already seeing them. Don't bother fight anybody. Don't fight for God. It's an insult. I've told you before, it's an insult to fight for God. And if you don't know by now that this is a battle against the body of Christ, this battle is God's battle, then you must be wrong. So, but without further ado, let us go further ahead. Now, I was very careful, and like every one of you probably might feel disturbed. I was too. But more than being disturbed, especially when I do not have a foreknowledge of such. We didn't see that. Nobody mentioned to me that they have a case that they are going to attend to. Personally, I didn't hear of the case. Now, I must say that I have had a little snippet of this case years back. I know then that it was covered by PM News. I was still in Nigeria then, years back. But I didn't know to details. I don't have such proximity I have with Genesis now. Then, so I really cannot have the details. So when the news break out yesterday, it was clearly a sudden. It could be considered an insurgency. So I needed to reflect and just reflect and reflect and reflect and put calls through and get my facts right so I know what to say. So I don't just jump out and act according based on emotions. So here we are. First of all, I need to say something very quickly, affirmatively, that the news which broke out yesterday was real and true. Now, everybody say, don't talk now, they will come for you. I said, no. What is called integrity is not sounding voice when things are good. My integrity will be questioned if I just went blank and go silence at this point. Loyalty is not tested when things are rosy. Loyalty is tested when there are hiccups, And I'm not going to come out because I want to be in defense, give you lies and all of that. I have a responsibility to you guys to let you know what really is going on and what really happened. Now, so the news yesterday was true. But I know all of you who have said, please come and tell us it's a lie. It's not a lie, it is true. It actually happened. It actually happened, and yesterday, we woke up with the news that maybe you guys didn't wake up with it, but I woke up with it. It was very early in the morning that there was a hearing at the High Court, and Prophet OLADELE was, arraigned in court on an allegation of fraud by pretext. And I don't know. I know that so many people really don't understand legal terms. I will explain all of these legal terminologies for us. Was arraigned in court for fraud by pretext over a case that has been in court since 2007. It has been passive hearing for some reason which I will still explain to us, which clearly we don't have the details or the clear understanding of the rationale. It was revitalized and it was presented in court yesterday, despite all odds and all clear handwritings. I'm going to explain the odds to you. I don't want to jump the thing. No, I don't want to jump the thing. So there was a hearing, and the 7-count charge, 5 was dismissed due to lack of evidence, and there were 2 that was presented, and the judge found him guilty, and there was a judgment was pronounced, and he was sentenced to 1 year jail time and a fine of 11.8 million. Yeah, I want to give you verbatim. That was what happened in court yesterday. So I want to formally give you what really happened before we now go into the stories and then what will happen next or what can happen next. So this is what happened. It's what I just told you. So it's happened. It's real. It doesn't matter who said it or who broke the news. It happened, and it happened like that. They went to court. This case has been since 2007. It's been in court since 2007. It was presented in court, and they found him guilty. It was so sudden it came, so there was really no time for any defense or any appeal or anything. So at the end of the hearing, of course, he was transferred to Ikoyi prison, where he presently is right now. So that was what happened yesterday. So let's get into the details. This is what I want to tell you. That sounds real bad. It's heartbreaking, and I know many of you would be heartbroken by that news. You don't want to hear that, but I'm sorry, I can't lie to you. It happened. That's what happened. As much as it's heartbreaking, I want to bring you comfort that is not the end of the road. Legally and all ramification, it is not the end of the road. It will come out of it, and it will come out of it gallantly. And I can promise you that. But let's not go there. But first, I think it is important for me to address you first so that you can be in the right state of mind to receive what I'm about to tell you, because I want to give you an account of events, of what really happened. Okay? Let me talk to you so that I can prepare your mind. You can be in the right state of mind to receive and to manage yourself as you continue. Prophet OLADELE is one man that God has blessed. He is loved by every one of his members. He is loved by all. And he has been a change agent, so we should not be surprised that all of this attack is coming in. It's not surprising. But let me talk to you guys real quick. The fact that a man of God appeared in court is not out of place. The fact that the man of God was sent to prison is not out of place. The biggest apostle in the Bible was sent to prison multiple times. Paul was imprisoned. I shared that scripture earlier today. Paul was jailed. Silas was jailed. Timothy was jailed. So it's not the first. OLADELE is not the first. Blessed are you that are persecuted for my sake. That's what the Bible says. So it's not as bad as it is. If you want to do the work of God, you should expect this. It's not a good thing. I'm not trying to normalize it or commonize it. but it's not out of place. It's not something that you should not expect, Again, it's not going to be in jail. That is for sure. And I'm going to give you everything that would make you understand. There are some great side to it, there are some shady side to it that is understandable, unexplainable, that will give you questions. But before we go into the great side, the case yesterday was between ISREAL OLADELE Genesis and Laide Williams Oni. The next phase of this program today is, who is Laide Williams Oni? How did it come about? Prophetess OLADELE. How did they meet? What transpired between them? Is anybody interested to know how we get to court? What led them to court? How did it happen? I'll bring you the full details. God help me. I'm kind of sleepy, so I'm not going to stay too long here. I worked the whole day and I spent the whole night trying to gather all the facts so that we can be very accurate. Laide Williams Oni is a Nigerian based in the United Kingdom. At one point in 2002, she came to Nigeria and she resided with her sister, who knew Prophetess OLADELE. It was said that she had some, issues that she needed prayer for. The sister whom she resided with, the sister she was living with, you were abroad people, and they see the family, those things. So the sister that she was staying with upon this visit knows Genesis. Let us first of all, as we begin to grow, put a little mathematics. I said she came to Nigeria in 2002. Now, Prophetess OLADELE is 45 years old. I think 45, 46 thereabout. So in 2002, he was 27 years of age. Prophetess OLADELE Genesis is 27 years of age then. And this woman is 6 years older than him. 6 or some years older than him. I just want us to just keep that so that we know how old he was and whose mind, what kind of mind the whole thing was going on. Now, Genesis, Prophetess OLADELE, I'm going to be addressing him as Prophetess OLADELE for specific reasons, because then it was not Genesis. Because this time we say Genesis, there is an impression of greatness that comes with it. And that's fine. But that greatness has not manifested then. So I will address him as an ordinary man, because as at then he was still an ordinary man. He was in a fragment of who he is, struggling, living in a single room apartment with other people like him who still can't afford the house, about 3, 4, couple of them living in this little house. So he was 27. The woman is about 6 years older. She came to Nigeria, and the sister who she lived with said, they talk, and then, okay, you have problem, you need I know one young prophet, and he's really good though. There was no church then. This Genesis, take your mind off the Genesis that there was no Genesis then. He's a prophet that is just, struggling to just get a balance. So they brought him to this young man who has just got a call to ministry, who has just discovered his ministry gifts. No money then. Until London met this prophet. By the grace of God, he prayed for her. And of course, I don't know what they call it in Sele. One shona. Yeah. Prophecy. They went to the prophetic and gave her some prophecies. And she was amazed by the way and manner that the man of God was used. Because all the prophecies were accurate and they were precise. Just give me a minute. I'm hearing something in my eardrum. I don't know where it's coming from. Sorry. Oh, no. Yeah. Now, this young man ministered to this lady. And she confirmed appreciate the work of the ministry. The prophecy were precise and were accurate. They established a communication from there while she was in Nigeria. She stayed longer than expected and she was showing up. And they talk, more often. You know how it is when seems like you meet one young prophet and this guy is just still in this corner, low estates. I'm going to tell you certain things that I have experienced personally. In my growing up and my work in ministry, at least 4 times, I was sharing with somebody recently that at least 4 times people have called me and say, you are very sound when it comes to ministry. You know Bible. People think knowing Bible is just the same thing as being a pastor. You think it's just knowing Bible is what it takes to be a pastor. I have had at least 4 times people says, how much will you need to start a church? Ready to invest in me. But God did not call me. And I'm being honest with you. And I said, Oga, I know Bible for my own consumption. God did not call me. Just same way. You see, how can you just say this 27-year-old poor boy give prophecy like this, accurate? She was thrilled. She was really thrilled. By the grace of God in the life of this man. And, established a relationship with him and became very supportive. They established a relationship, they became close, and she was very instrumental. I must say this. That Prophetess OLADELE at any point did not deny this woman supports morally and financially to his ministry then, because they were in low estates. He acknowledged and appreciates support for the ministry. Let me tell you this. Ministry thrives on loyal people this is how ministry grows. God gives the man of God a gift, spiritual gifts. Once the gift is being, exhibited and people are being blessed, it is the people who are blessed that always bless the church. So it is very normal. Church don't have any company or anything that generates money for them to generate liquidity. It is the gift of the man of God that is being used on the people. When the people are blessed, those who are blessed come back to bless the church. So it is not out of place. It is normal. It is what should be done to support the church because it seems that you are being blessed by the instrumentality of the gifting of God in the life of the man. But something went wrong. She was supporting the church. She was supporting the man of God financially, morally. Something went wrong along the line. Emotion sets in. Don't forget, Prophetess OLADELE was 27 years of age, was single at this point. So it is legally, morally, emotionally allowed for him to have a relationship if he so chooses to. Young man, that the only thing that God is using to put food on his table, poor, his parents are poor, his friends are poor. I told you, poor people always have poor friends. But God gave him a gift of prophecy. His gift has attracted Auntie London. And all of a sudden, Auntie London began to show an interest in him to marry him. Woo! To him then, that was the best thing that could ever happen to him. Emotion sets in and they get into a relationship. This lady appears to be an answered prayer for ministry growth. She appears to be a destiny helper for him. For a 27-year-old young man in Alagbado, and just your talent, your spiritual gift just brought, I'm sure he doesn't have an international passport then. So it will look like a blessing to him. You know the way we see people abroad those days. At the Arisha Unison, there are people who have never been to the airport, that they are living a better life than those who are in London. The fact that you are in UK does not mean you are okay. But then, it wasn't perceived like that. The man like when you are in America, come in, woman, but then, it wasn't seen like that. Listen, to every poor man that is still struggling with survival, the only breakthrough they need is an helper. And that was what he found in Lydie Williams. Especially when he's coming on the platter of gold. They get into a relationship as two young adults. Don't forget, this woman is more exposed, more educated, older than him. By every parameter of life, she's way above him. But she consents to be in a relationship with him, so it's a big deal to him. You know, like a young man, we say those days, this is a big fish. A janla. He will thank God for it. He will thank his destiny. Ìbàjẹ́ pé a máa mọ ibi tó rí bẹ́sẹ̀ eré ni. Àbá máa subject ara wa to some ridicules or some things that might eventually ridiculous. Ìbàjẹ́ èèyàn máa mọ ibi tí ẹlẹ́dàá ẹ̀ ṣì ń gbé lọ. We will not settle for mundane things of life. We will not settle for mundane things of life. If only God can give us a foresight, we will not try to alternate to help ourselves while God is still at work in us. With or without anybody, the counsel of God will stand. Hear me. To every true blessing of God, devil will first of all introduce to you a counterfeit. It is you who do not know God's next plan for you. God knows it. Guess what? The devil knows it. At the verge of when God wants to manifest his promises in your life, the devil will introduce a counterfeit to you first. Once you oblige it, it becomes a time bomb at the verge of the manifestation of your destiny. It becomes a time bomb at the verge of your fulfillment. This is what is playing out, ladies and gentlemen. God said to Abraham, "You shall be father of many nations. I will give you children." When he was 70. By the time the child did not come, he said, "Count the stars of the heaven. So shall your children's seed be." I'm already 70, it's already late. And then he waited for another 20 years, he became 95. This is 25 years down the line. The child still did not come. One day the wife called him and said, "Oga, take my slave. You sleep, go and sleep with her, so that at least we can have a child." At the verge when they sleep with the slave, they gave birth to Ishmael. God showed up with Isaac. Just almost at the verge when the promises of God for them will come to pass, the devil introduced to them a counterfeit. Guess what? The same servant that she had and presented to her husband rise up against her in her husband's house. Because, of course, she's the one who gave birth to the first son. Contend with Sarah in her own husband's house. Because that they have obliged the counterfeit, the introduction, the alternative that the devil has introduced to them. Till today, the whole world is suffering from that decision. Because Ishmael was sent out, and history and archaeology tells us that Ishmael became the grandfather of the Middle East, which is the, progenitors of the Islamic religions. So when we have the jihadists today and the Boko Haram and the, all of those are the seed of Ishmael. One poor decisions that was made out of an hasting, obliging the counterfeit option of the devil. Let's continue. So, of course, Lade was a big deal for ISREAL OLADELE. She's older, she's more exposed, she has traveled, she's anti-London. So they started dating. And the relationship was pronounced. Everybody knows it. By the grace of God, everything I'm bringing to you were things that I've taken my time. See, I have loads of books. I have to write to gather all of this from at least 4 sources. And put the ones that tallies with each other is what I'm going to put together and bring to you. I've never done a show or do any program here with anything written down. I've never done it. This is the first time because it is so important that I don't miss any part of it. Now, the relationship went on. And of course now, before it was a donation when she was just, blessing the man and contributing to the church. At this point, it became inconwa. Please follow me. Because she now becomes the potential mommy Gio when the annuity will mature. You know, they are now in a relationship. So the voracity of her, you know, generosity will increase. She was giving vehemently. She was giving generously. She was giving. Because it's their thing now. She's the spouse of this pastor. This young 27 years old pastor. Every question you are asking, if you let me finish the story, you will find an answer to it. The relationship becomes very formidable that they decide to live together. And they rented an apartment. They rented a flat. You know, the guy was living with other boys in a single room. So they can't be in a relationship in that kind of a place. So this woman said, no, yeah, you're my husband now. We have to put in place. So they rented an apartment together in Jaffa. Jaffa is after Agbado Oja. To anybody who know that exists very well, is after Agbado Oja. They rented along Agbado Ijoko Road. That's where you have Jaffa. They rented a house in Jaffa. And they were living together. This relationship went on actively for 2 years. In between these 2 years, of course, she's Londoner. She travels and comes back, but everybody know her and everybody know the spouse of this young pastor. So at this point, he's about 29 years old. So he will go to the United Kingdom, come back, but every time she comes to Nigeria, she doesn't stay with her sister again. She already have a fiancé. She just comes straight to their house because they rented the house together. She comes straight down to their house in Jaffa. She show up in church. She's the wife of the pastor. Don't forget, they don't have this church there now. So this relationship was active for 2 years, passively, but she was going back and forth. In 2004, she traveled to the United Kingdom. That's why I said it was active for 2 years. In 2004, she went to United Kingdom. And unlike every time she just go and come back not too long, she take too long this time to come back. So, what is going on? Ìjọ́ wo ló máa dé? Ìyàwó mi, aláṣírí mi, destiny helper mi. Inú àti ẹ̀ ní nǹkan tá a fẹ́ ṣe ní church nísìn. Wo, in fact, ilẹ̀ tí mo ta rí yẹn, a fẹ́ develop ẹ̀ báyìí. Wọ́n sọ pé wọ́n fẹ́ talẹ̀. In fact, lẹ́yìn mi ìdẹ̀fẹ́ kó bọ́ máa lọ́wọ́. And this, that. He raised a little fund to buy the property where the church is sitting on right now. He reached out to his fiancée, who is, of course, in a better space in life. A rich fiancée. She supported and raised money to add to what he had for them to buy the land. However, while they were in this 2 years active relationship, the relationship lasted for about 4 years, but it was active for 2 years. While in this active relationship, when she was really fresh in Nigeria, when she came first hand, of course, you see this young mama Adubo, she needed to buy property. Property OLADELE bought property for her in her name. All the documents reflected her name. So in 2004, when she left, she still sent money to buy some property, and about 3 property was bought in her name. So, but unfortunately, she was taking longer than necessary. Of course, they were still dating, don't forget. They were still talking. She was still supporting. While she was in UK this time, first of all, the prophets, it was said that she had an intuition by the leading of the Holy Spirit to say, I think you are in a relationship with somebody else there. I had a dream. I saw you that you are pregnant. And she denied it. Okay, they moved on. Later on, she clearly got pregnant for somebody else and gave birth to a child, which the sister in Nigeria that actually introduced her to Genesis in the first place confirmed to Genesis that she actually just gave birth to a child for a man in the United Kingdom. But this is what actually happened. Lyde Williams was actually married before she came to Nigeria in 2002 in the first place. She had problem in her marriage. Weak fertility is part of the problem. She had problem in her marriage. They were having hiccups. I think they're having misunderstanding or whatever. We don't know why. But she left her marriage without a formal divorce, actually. And came to Nigeria. I think she came to Nigeria to just clear her head. Now, why I didn't go that route before is that I want to paint the picture so that you will get it clear. So you will understand that this man, ISREAL OLADELE, was not aware of a relationship in the United Kingdom. He was not aware until when our traveling becomes longer than necessary and he was having the intuitions. So that was when they realized that she was actually married. Nobody knew that she was actually married in the United Kingdom when they were in a relationship in Nigeria. I think she had a problem with her marriage and she just, you know how women do, just say, you know what, I can't stand this. I just need to clear my head, man. Yeah. She was married. So when she had a child, that becomes a hiccup in their relationship. Like, what is going on? I thought you said you are not in a relationship. How did you not tell me that you have a husband? What is going on? It was this younger sister who told them in Nigeria, who eventually told Genesis that, no, it's not that she got pregnant for somebody else while she was there. No, she was actually married before when she was dating you. So it becomes yam pepper scatter scatter. Of course, the relationship was deterred. So in about 2004, 2005, about 2005, 2006, thereabout, the relationship was, marred. And they broke up. Oh, I think I was wrong. She was about, yes, let me correct one thing. She's about 10 years thereabout older than Prophet Oladele. She's way older than him, not 6 years. She's actually way older. So, of course, we don't know. This is the great side that I will tell you, I don't know. We don't know the rationale behind the action. Why she left UK to start have a relationship with Genesis, we really don't know. I can't explain it. It's not as if they were flirting. They live together. They rented the house where they live together. So, I honestly can't give you an explanation to that. I don't know what happened. I don't know why she did that. I don't know what was in her mind. But the summary of it is that she was in a relationship with him, and their relationship was, solidified, and she actually contributed to the church and contributed to the man, and the man never denied it. There's no time that he has ever said he didn't give me money. That's never been the argument. Now, she went back to London, stayed longer than expected, and then they just found out by report. It was a rumor, and then it was confirmed that she was pregnant, and then she had a child. So it becomes pretext. It becomes a relationship that was founded on lies. I would deliberately not respond to any comments that don't make sense, because it really don't make sense. Because I never talk of any child being an argument in everything I've said. I don't know where DNA comes in here. I didn't say Genesis ever said he wants any child. I don't know where they got that from. You guys should get something straight. I'm not responding to whatever they said yesterday or whatever anybody choose to say. Like I said, they have a reason to share. They have right to share. We will just... the only thing is that the match has not ended. They just scored a goal, so they can share. So I'm not here to prove them wrong or prove them right. I'm here to just give you an account of events to the extent that I know, for those who care to know. I'm not really trying to prove anybody wrong. That's not the point. And what they did not get is that I have never tried to prove anybody wrong. I have always been giving the story the way it is, and then question the motive. Because obviously there have been a personal indictment. And we'll get to those parts of the indictment. Now, so they broke up. The relationship ended when she had a child. The relationship ended when she had a child. And then life continues. God begin to bless ISREAL OLADELE Genesis. Church begin to grow small, small. Small, small. Small, small. The church begin to grow little by little, precept by precept. And then, of course, the growth of the church, being a young single man, then it will be now it will be like 29, 30 years old. Hello? Yes, please. Yes, we will. All right, thank you. Right. Where was I? So, of course, it begins to grow. In 2010, he announces that he has found his soulmate and is going to get married. We met a lady by the name Bimbo. They dated and they decided to get married. So, of course, the wedding was announced and the wedding invitation was announced. The news of the wedding get to the notice of what's it called? What's her name again? Lady. The news gets to the lady, and for some reason that is unexplainable. Again, this is another gray spot that I don't have an answer to. For some reason that is unexplainable, by the time he announced his wedding, and she got to find out, she was bittered, and that is the beginning of the whole attrition. That is the beginning of the battle. That is where the battle started. When in 2010 he got married, and Lide finds out that he's married, she came to Nigeria, and then they started having this argument. Like, of everything I've done to you. Yes, of course, I've invested in you. Now, I don't have the facts of the figures. The truth of the matter is that nobody does have the fact of the figures. There's nobody that has the fact of the figures. So I can't tell you, oh, he didn't give 8 million, he gave 4 million. Nobody has that fact. I don't have it. I'm not going to tell you what I don't know. There was no... Remember, they were benevolence. There was no record of it. They didn't come like this point, but the few that were accounted for were the one that she specifically sent for certain objectives, like help me buy property, which he bought for him. Help me buy this, and then when the one she donated for the one he gave to him to buy the property where they built the church, those ones we can account for. You know, we can account for that. But every other one, nobody can tell you. So we can't really say this is how much she gave, or this is how much she gave, or she didn't give it, she gave. But something is very clear. Genesis did not deny that she was instrumental to his growth. Then he never denied that he collected money from her. So that is not really an argument. He admitted it. The only difference is that these were, free will giving that came because they were in a relationship. So he got married in 2010. Now they met in 2002. They did that in 2004. She went back, and then she gave birth about 2005, 2006. So from 2005 that she went to the UK, this man decided to get married in 2010. From 2004, he decided to get married in 2010. That is 6 years down the line. And this woman showed up and was bittered. Was bittered. And the whole thing led into such escapade that we see today. Then, it was arranged. It was arranged then, and was locked up. They went to court. I don't know how the thing went, because I could remember the story. I know when it happened there, when it was being arrested for this, because she came to Nigeria and they arrested him. They went to court. No, they didn't go to court. They locked him up in cell then. Even, in fact, it was in newspaper. It was in national dailies. For me, like a layman, I would have felt that the issue has been resolved, or they fix it, or they did something. Up until now, I didn't know that the thing was still pending. So that was the story, and that was what transpired between them. Now let's talk about the DNA, because I see somebody mention DNA tests. The first time they appeared in court, when Lide came and was making claim that, oh, she was deceived, she gave him money, she was deceived. Now, please, let's get the fact right. She did not claim that she was deceived. That, oh, she said, okay, now one of her claims is that she bought property. He gave him money to buy property for her. All the money sent property. So when they went to court, he presented the document for the property that were in her name. Now, she never had the papers to the property because she never came back to Nigeria. Don't forget, she left to UK like she's coming back as usual. She didn't come back up until she heard that the man is getting married. So of course, just like people, have you ever seen people who are dating each other and then they break up and the guy, there are some really senseless men, or the women who has bought something for you. I've seen one before that the lady went to meet the guy right on top of the road and took off his shoe and took off his necklace, took off his wristwatch. Those petty things. But this one now is in the big scale. It's not petty. She heard that he's getting married. She's not happy. So she came back and was like, this one. And she was like, okay, take. This one, take. Everyone that can be accounted for was handed over to her. Of course, she didn't come to even her. She came straight to just lock him up first attack. There was no any discussion. So by the time they get they went to court, they presented all the documents to him. Now, they got to the ones that she's claiming as fraud were the ones that she gave out of benevolence, out of goodwill. You understand? It's not the specific one that he says, and then she wants to get away, and then the one she gave to him to hard money to buy the land where they have the church, were the ones she's claiming that she's been defrauded. Just like we had in previous months. Just like the same story we had. Just like the same story. This one is just in a bigger scale with a more, well-connected person. That they are not just making noise on Facebook. You understand? Now, the issue of the DNA test. The first time they appeared in court, that was in 2010. And the husband, the so-called husband, heard that the wife was actually having an affair with the husband to the extent that they lived together at some point. It was said that the man actually angrily stood up in court. He couldn't stand it and was like, oh, damn shit. Now, this information that he got put him to like, really? So there was a compromise. So I'm not even sure whether this child is mine. So out of his own volition, he went to do a DNA test on his child after finding out that the wife actually lived with a man while she was in Nigeria. This is the reason why the man did a DNA test on his child. There was never a time. It's not part of the case in court. I don't know where they got that from. That Genesis ever claimed our child is a lie from hell. Is a big lie from hell. I will tell you what is true. I already told you the part that were true. The part that were lie, I will put it out for you. There was never a time that Genesis said, oh, this is my child. No. It was the man who had that they actually lived together. Every man should do that. Oh, really? He was shocked. He was disappointed in the wife. And he decided to take a DNA test just to be sure. Now, the whole money that was sent back and forth to Genesis happened in the 2 years of active relationship from 2002 to 2004, while they were actively involved. Okay. Now, the property that she sent money for was bought in her name and was held in the hand by Genesis, which was handed over to her when she came back home. You know, at the time when she came back home, things has fallen apart. We cannot establish the figures of the 17 million, which was even stated yesterday by the judge herself. The presiding judge over this case is Olabisi Akinlade. Because, like I said, nobody can really put hands on the figures because they didn't come at one point. They came at different instances, and some were specific for something, but majority of it were like benevolence, you know, donating to this and helping with this and giving him money. Of course, see, the thing is that there is no argument. This man did not deny that this woman did not give money to him. No, he didn't say that. What he was saying is, I did not defraud you. You gave me money out of your own. We were in a relationship. The husband that is calling on the show and was saying all manner of things finds out, established, verified that the wife was actually in a relationship with Genesis and they were having an intimate relationship together. This is the reason why I did a DNA test with the husband. The whole thing, the whole story, the whole narrative changed when Genesis announced his wedding. The whole thing changed when he announced he's going to get married to Bimbo. Bimbo was the first lady he got married to. Remember, he got married before he got married to the wife now. Of course, Lade Williams is from the Williams family. Williams family that we know. They are strong politicians in Lagos State. Forget that. She's more enlightened. She has more strength. In all of this moment, Genesis was not Genesis. He's not what he is now. So he can easily be siphoned. Or easy like for Wolak Baloju at those points. The fraud allegation could not be established in so many ways. There's no way you want to establish fraud. But you know Yorùbá sọ pé ìjà dé oríndòwe. Any man that is not married has a legal and emotional right to be involved with as many women as he chooses to, as long as he has not found one. There is no condemnation with that. You see, people are very quick to just take assertion and judge. He's a young man. He's single. Why can't he have a relationship? If this one doesn't work, yes, straight to the next one. What's wrong with that? But it's sad that the whole things are playing out after he became a pastor, and now his name is big. The whole attack that we are seeing is because Genesis has become Genesis. If he's a loafer, one nuisance, living a low life, he will not suffer any of this attack. The same husband that ran out of court the first time that when he found out that the wife has been doing promo, being a destiny helper of this wife, that I did not even trust the wife again. You have to do a DNA test on their child. That's the same husband that is there making phone and just talking carelessly and loosely. I don't know. Now I'm going to tell you, this is the story, and I've heard the story. Of course, to everyone that cares to know, it's not the end of the road. By the legal standard, they can appeal, which I think they should, which I think they are. But this is now, like I said, I have ended the story. I have ended the story. Now this is my position. This is my own, position when I reflect on the whole thing. God help me here. I was wondering in my head when I find out all this story. Mo kàn rò ní o. Okay. You are defrauded. After sleeping with a man for 2 years. After sleeping with a man for 2 years, you are claiming that you'll be defrauded. Somebody said, I only get facts from Genesis. I didn't get facts from the lady. Sorry, let me ask you a question. Are you aware that this case has been in court for over 13 years? I'm not getting a fact from Genesis. I've not even spoken to him. These are things that are presented in court. The two of them have presented their story. The lady did not deny anything I just said to you. There's no part of it that she denies. You just heard the husband said the wife was sleeping with Genesis. What else do you want me to hear from her? There's no argument in the story now. The only difference is the perception changed. Emotion set in. The same way emotion set in that he fell in love with Genesis. When he fell out and decided the guy is moving on, another emotion, bad energy set in. Bad energy set in. So there's no point in telling. You don't have to hear a story from any one of them. It's a open story. They have presented all their case in court for years. They presented their case in court. The husband did not deny it. As long as we can establish that they were in a relationship, they were actively involved, they were emotionally involved, they were sexually involved. When this old donation were given, was she at any point at gunpoint? Was she promised certain dividends? So it's not like, okay, give me this money, I will pay you back 30% if annuity mature. Or what ground was she giving the money to Genesis? The one you gave to buy property for you, did you get the property? Is that what we are talking about? Did you get the property? If actually you want to defraud the lady, kò yẹ kó nílẹ̀ kankan, kò yẹ kó rílẹ̀ kankan now. Then we will know it's fraud. Get it right. I am not, like I've always said, I'm not defending Genesis. We are just working with facts and figures here. We are just working with facts and figures. If you want to say it's defrauding, ó fún lówó kó fi ralẹ̀, kò wá rílẹ̀ yẹn gbà. Fraud. But the judge said he doesn't have evidence to prove that. That's what the judge said. That's all. That was not there. Every money she gave, the only one that she gave and she's saying she wasn't able to get it is the one she gave to him to buy the land where they have the church. And it was not just her money. She just contributed. Yes, she has a large portion of the contribution, but every other person contributed to. He himself as a shepherd look for money. So it was a joint effort. The money might be 100,000 and she gave 70,000, but it's still a joint effort. It was a donation. It was a donation. Now, let me tell you my own side of the story. My own reflection. These are my reflections. Who is this person? Let me see. I saw a comment that I would really like to question. Follow on, Adamsi. Can you help me define what is fraud? Give me a definition of fraud. Just your own definition of fraud. I want you to just I'm really interested in you defining fraud. Your best English definition of fraud. Give me. So we will relate it with the story. If you are really sure you are not being have a biased motive, Give me a definition of fraud. Define fraud. Whether dictionary meaning or your meaning, I will take whatever definition you give. Give me a definition of fraud. I just want to see what you mean by fraud. I'm sorry I can't say it here. Now, but there are great sides to it. These are my reflection. These are my own personal reflection. On Genesis side, I don't know why they have to allow this thing to last 11, 12, 13 years. By every definition, God has blessed Genesis. Ọlọ́run máa fi 20 million gba etí gé ẹ̀yẹ pé ọ̀gbẹ́ni fuck off, man. Like, I know for sure that I can afford 17 million. Like, why can't they just pay her and just let it go? I don't know. But they said he wanted to pay, and people told him then, he's a young man. Like I said, this was when he was in like 25, 30, 27, 30 years of age. They said, no, don't pay it. So it won't look as if you admitted the allegation. Because of course, she didn't come to discuss. The first time she came, they picked the man up. It was SARS that came to pick him up, lock him up in jail. No, Ọlọ́run gbà fún Genesis kọjá bẹ́ẹ̀ at this point. I'm not sure why they did not pay the money. So I ask this same question. Why did he not just pay and just let her go? Like, go. This is what I found out. That to a larger extent, they have been denied access to even discuss. So I begin to see an intended motive to shame him. Hear me very well. I will give you all the great corners to tell you that this thing is not because of the case we are having. What you are seeing here has something to do with Ogbolomi fraud. This is a deliberate motive to bring this man down. This is a intended. Tobacco fún wọn báyìí. All this way, gba 17 million. I swear to God, they will still not take it because that's not the intention. The intention is not to collect money. The intention is to embarrass him and disgrace him. The intention was not to get money back. The intention was not to get a refund. The intention was to embarrass him. I see people say, can you contribute money? Can you say, hear me. If he need to raise money to pay, he won't need you. He can, even if he doesn't have it in his hand, God has blessed him with quality people that will raise that money in 5 days. I know for sure. But the intention is not money. The intention is to disgrace him. The intention is to shipwreck him. The intention is to bring down the ministry. They were denied access. They made effort to discuss, to have this conversation, to discuss out of court. All access were denied. Because they are not trying to get the money back. It's just common sense. Listen to that man. If you listen to that man for 5 minutes, you know that. Why is the woman not talking? So somebody will sleep with my wife for 2 years and collect money from my wife. And then they are now in court. It is me that will be proud to be calling blogger. Is it not a shame? Something tells you that there is a conjunctive effort to stage an attack. It's not normal. Let me give you things that are not normal. Yesterday, when that man placed the first call to call Emefiele, Do you know that the court proceeding was still on? And she was already called to give those statements. And the court was still on. Hold that as one. Number two, they have been going to court since 2007 or 2010, thereabouts. So yesterday appearance was just one of those courts. Ask yourself a question. How come the press gathered only for yesterday on? Who called the press? Whoever called the press, have they been informed that they will sentence him? All the members of the press were seated in the court. It was premeditated. The show that MHM did yesterday was for what? In the morning. It was for nothing. It looked as if she was just in her own business. They make it look as if he just got a strange call. No. Clearly that call was expected. They were waiting for that call. Go back and watch it. Look as if she was just about her business. But why did you go live packing boxes of Indomie? What was the topic of discussion before the call came in? Nothing. It was just that call. It looks premeditated. How come the press suddenly show up for this one? Where were the press in all of the court hearings that they've been having all this while? Somebody called the press. Say, wow. Of course, there have been brown envelope that has been on. Was it that the judgment that went on yesterday was premeditated? Because it looked as they were prepared for it. They were prepared for it. You know Buki have a loose mouth. Go back and listen to Buki in the show in the morning. She said, "Ṣọmọ mo jáde fún ẹ lánàá. Mo ṣe central fún ẹ ní. Èmi tí mo ti mọ̀." How come Buki knew about this court hearing that has been since 2000 and this thing, about 11 years ago? Buki do not know the address to Genesis Church when this case has been in court. How come she know about this? How come she know Laide? How come they know Laide's husband? Oh, maybe when Buki was talking, they have contacted her. Okay, yes, probably. It's possible. So they must have told her, okay, we are having a hearing on so date. Okay. So she sent her own people there to be witness. Possibly. Who called the press? Who told them that the case will be finalized yesterday? It has been for 11 years, so nobody can tell when the case will be closed. These are great shades. These are great corners. I'm not saying anything, but those are questions reflecting in my mind. It was premeditated. Somebody knew something. Somebody orchestrated something and has told them it's going to happen like this, and it played out the way they planned it and the way they expect it. Justice Olabisi Akinlade, the court where the case has been set was part of the court that were set on fire. All the case in this court was pended because, of course, because of the NSAS protest. This judge single-handedly picked this one case, transfer it to another courtroom to sit on it. It looks as this attack is time sensitive. This is a politically influenced judgment. We find out that this justice is retiring, and they have given her a mandate to send this guy to jail. Upon her retirement, she's vying for a political position which has already been promised, so she don't want to ruin her chances. Before she retires, she have to fulfill that one that they have given to her. Because these are people who are well politically connected. The Williams are strong APC member in Lagos State. That is why the case just came, so fast, so sudden. They didn't give him any space to prepare for this. He never saw this coming. You see, he had a service a night before. Showed up in court like they've been showing up. If you have been going to court on a case for 11 years, you will feel like it's not. But this time it was bass bills. Before you say Jack Robinson, he was arraigned in prison. Something was premeditated. Something was not right. How did press get there? You guys should wait. I'm about to conclude. Hold on. What time is it? It's already 12 o'clock. I need to go. Now, this is another part that bothers me. Why did it mean so much to Bukky and the rest of them? This case has been in existence before they exist. I listened to some part that they are taking glory. Emini Moshe. No, it's not you. They don't even know you. But you see, well, I don't know why anybody will take joy in the fact that somebody is falling. But anyway, if you think you fall, you are wrong. Because he did not fall. I know one thing for certain. One thing for certain. That we'll get out of that place in a couple of weeks. Mark my word. One thing for certain. You'll be out of there. Because there was no fairness, there was no balance in the judgment of that case. Òyìnbó tó dẹ̀ ṣe pencil ló ṣe eraser. The judge herself, knowing the crevices of her heart, that was not a fair judgment. The judge herself knows. It was spontaneous. It was illogical. There was no reason for it. But then, to those of you, like I said, I didn't come to prove anybody wrong. I'm just giving you my own side of it. We will keep finger crossed. I don't want to say anything like it is wrong for me to tell you anything. Even if they have anything in plan or you intend to do anything, whether you want to appeal or you don't want to appeal, even if I know, I should not tell you for security reasons. We are in a fight. You understand? But I can tell you for sure that God himself will step in this situation. Tell them to laugh while they can. Tell them to dance while they can. Tell them to rejoice while they can. Because the match has not finished. They have only scored a goal. They have not won the match. I'll take a couple of calls. The number is 202-297-3054. I'm done. If you're calling, it's time to call. And I can get out of here to attend to other things. I felt a sense of responsibility to just tell you what happened because everybody's asking me, did it happen? Is it true? Is it true? Is it true? Did it happen? It happened. What is the worst thing that can happen? Okay, he didn't get a fair appeal. He go to jail. Prison calendar is 7 months. So what? He will go and come back. The church will still remain. It will still remain Genesis. Those who love him will still love him. You don't get it. I don't know why you are throwing a party. What will happen? Nothing. That's the worst thing that can happen. He will go to jail. He will come back. Reverend King watching his service in church here. He was sentenced for murder. People are crying and they are shouting. Don't mourn for nothing. I don't know why. Yes, it's emotionally draining. Yes. Somebody said, PM, this is my number on the screen. What are you saying? God has blessed him with people that love him. Worst case scenario, which I know will not happen. Worst case scenario, he will serve the term 1 year. He will come back. Tìyín lójú. Kó lọ kó dé kò tí ì ṣẹgbẹ́ bàbá ńlá kó bá bá èyí tẹ̀ ń pariwo yìí. Ayé ẹ̀ ṣì ní mínì ju tìyín lọ. Hello? Hello?
Hello? Hello, Mr. Victor.
I can hear you, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you very much. God bless you. God bless you for analyzing all this thing. I don't know Genesis. I don't know anybody. I'm not a celestial. But immediately I saw this thing, I know it is conspiracy. Immediately I saw it on my Facebook that Sahara was, bringing it out. I know my spirit was telling me no. My spirit was telling me no. So this is a conspiracy. And let us see what God is going to do.
Amen.
Thank you very much. I really, how you analyze all these things.
Amen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. In fact, I'm really happy. In fact, do you know what? I'm not sad though. I am not sad.
No, there's nothing to be sad about. Honestly. There's nothing to be sad about.
Because the truth must be told, and I know you said it already, right? But I'm very happy that you analyze everything. You said, yes, exactly. Exactly. No, I'm happy. Thank you, Mr. Victor. Thank you. God bless you.
You are welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hello? Hello? Yes, ma'am.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Still on the show?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this is my first time calling in. I've been your fan for a very long time, and I've been following this. So I would just say thank you for analyzing this. It's obvious. Even if you look at all the write-ups, all the bloggers or newspapers are bringing out, they do not have their facts. And it is
No, they do not have the facts.
That it is a political setup. And then again, how will a court sentence someone without an option of fine? It doesn't make sense.
It's an indictment.
Okay. Well, I don't understand because where are the clear evidence? What exactly is happening? And number two, it is another obvious thing is that man, Mr. Oni or whatever his name is, he immediately, just like he said, immediately he found out that they were actually sleeping together or living together as spouse, he got angry, and then he made up his mind that he was going to make sure that Genesis go down for it. And then why is that? It is when somebody is, as in, when you leave someone, you break up with somebody, and then you find out that the person is making it. Why do people always go back to just bring up from nowhere and want to bring the first person out? Why? Move on with your life. You know, I've always said I like the way you analyze things. You take it. You are not being biased like what people are saying, because they're just telling a story. You are not citing anyone. You're just telling a story, and it makes sense. And if you even read all the articles, you will find out that it wasn't adding up. It's just it's not just adding up. And then for Bukky Jesse and all of them that are screaming and jubilating, I don't understand. Say I will love the law constantly. They won't see one.
I don't get it.
They won't see one. Someone jubilates. It is anybody that my head is something. Your head is what? Your head is full of coconut water. Please, you should pass it down. I just want to say a very big thank you, and God will continue to give you the wisdom that you've always had, and add more to that wisdom. And trust me, they are still going to come back. Like I said to someone, I said all those people that they think, okay, they are jubilating at the church. So that's the way it is. So thank you so very much. That's all I have to say.
Thank you very much, man. There is a side that I would not like to ignore. And that is the side that I believe that Genesis will know better by now. Hello? 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 Hello?
Hello?
Hello?
Hello, Brother Victor.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Hello?
Hello, I can hear you.
Okay, sir. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ mi ò ní pọ̀ lálẹ́, ṣé ń gbọ́ mi báyìí?
Mo ń gbọ́ yín dáadáa.
Okay, sir. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ gbogbo àwọn tó ń gbọ́ wa, mo fẹ́ kí understand pé Brother Victor has never for once supported Genesis. Or pé wọ́n defend pé gbogbo nǹkan tó ṣe ó right. He's just saying the attack on him is too much. Kí ló dé tí gbogbo èèyàn dìde sórí èèyàn kan ṣoṣo? Kí ló dé? We people are just wicked and callous. He can't jubilate káàkiri sí pé òun ti rẹ́yìn ẹ̀, òun make ẹ̀, òun break ẹ̀. Just sit down yourself and think about it. Pé if you make somebody, must you break the person again? And this thing has nothing to do with you. Nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ yìí. But nǹkan tí mo fẹ́ sọ fún wọn Bukky Jesse àti Mọ́ṣúárì TV. Make sure you people don't lose heaven. Make sure you don't lose heaven. Because tí ẹ bá pàdánù ìjọba ọ̀run tó rẹ̀ sọ́ra IDP Ọlọ́run ṣe tí ẹ mú ẹlẹ́ṣẹ̀ káàkiri. Tí ẹ bá pàdánù ìjọba Ọlọ́run, ìbànújẹ́ ayérayé ló máa jẹ́ fún yín. Ẹ fracalize ayé ẹni ẹlẹ́ni. Inú yín dùn. And one thing tí mo tún fẹ́ sọ ni wípé kí màmá ìyá Genesis kó má bànújẹ́. Gbogbo ẹ̀ fún ògo ni. Àti ìyàwó wọn náà ká lè rí ìtàn pa ní gbogbo ilé. Èmi ò kí ń ṣọmọ sẹ̀lẹ̀ o, bọ gbogbo ẹ̀yin Celestial, shame on you. Ojú tí ọ̀rẹ́ mi, ojú òtì mi, ẹni yẹn ni ò ní tìjú. Inú yín ti dùn sí ẹ ti accomplish mission yín. Ọlọ́run rí gbogbo ẹ̀. Ọládélé Israel. Bẹ̀dá bá fi yóò ṣe yẹ̀yẹ́ ò sọ fún pé Ọlọ́run kò sùn. Ó mọ ibi tó mú ẹ lọ, Ọlọ́run kò sùn. You will come out victorious. I know that for sure. Òun kọ́ ló dẹ́ṣẹ̀ jù láyé. Àwọn kan wá sọ wípé àwọn gullible followers ẹ̀ wọ́n máa support ẹ̀. Can't you read between the lines? Understand nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ni. Ẹ ti jẹ́ kí hatred kó big cloud gbogbo yín.
Exactly.
So
That's the
people will
problem.
just come, they have the infantry to come to anybody running a show. And mama comment rubbish. Kí ló dé? Ọlọ́run Jésù wá torí ẹlẹ́ṣẹ̀ ni kò ń ṣe nítorí pé ẹni tó, and those of you ẹni tó bá dúró kó dúró dáadáa. Ẹ wo mi gbọ́dọ̀ tó sọ ju báyìí lọ. Ẹ
Thank
ṣé
you.
gan, God bless you.
Thank you.
Brother Victor.
Thank
Ilé
you.
àti ọ̀nà yín ò ní bàjẹ́.
Amen.
Ẹ ṣé gan.
Thank you. Hello, good afternoon. Hello. Hello.
Good
Good evening.
bless you, because it's been disheartening since yesterday, reading on horrible things about this amazing personality and all sorts of things. And we're here and high hope now to everything and breaking it down to let people understand. To be judged, whoever she is, I am not concerned about her name. She did her own, but God is on the throne. The prophet remains unbordered. Oladele Israel Ogundipe is unstoppable. He doesn't need to prove to anybody whether he is right or is wrong, but God himself will vindicate him because he will come out of this victorious and stronger. That's all I have to say. And a big thank you to everybody that has been praying for him and not condemning him. But to the Bukky Jeses and every other person, they keep celebrating. No, God is on the throne.
Baby.
I won't say otherwise. Thank you and God bless you for your good work.
Thank you very much. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Ènìyàn lọ sẹ́wọ̀n, èèyàn lọ sẹ́wọ̀n. Láti ìgbà Bíbélì làwọn èèyàn ti ń lọ sẹ́wọ̀n. Most prophets, Joseph lọ sẹ́wọ̀n. Paul and Silas. So many of them, they went to prison and they came out victorious. They came out a better person. Olúṣẹ́gun Ọbásanjọ́ lọ sẹ́wọ̀n. Ó dé ó be the president. Nelson Mandela ó lọ sẹ́wọ̀n. Orúkọ ẹ̀ ò parẹ́. So, bóyá Ọlọ́run ọba orílẹ̀ fẹ́ fi Genesis pamọ́, he want to have a personal relationship for him. Tí òun fúnra rẹ̀ ò ní enough time fún láti ní personal relationship pẹ̀lú Ọlọ́run ẹ̀. So sometimes Ọlọ́run máa ń fi èèyàn pamọ́ kí òkú ẹ̀ bá lè tán ní. So ipe ó ń lọ sẹ́wọ̀n o, kò lọ sẹ́wọ̀n o, gbogbo wa lẹ́lẹ́nu ara. Ní ìjọkan a wà ní church, I wan study life of Job. And the pastor said, Job is a wonderful person. Everybody should strive to be like Job. And he said, do we want to be like Job? I said, no. He said, why? I said, ṣé béèyàn ni David tó ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ tó wà nínú ayé yìí tọ́lọ́ ń tẹ̀tú pé ní apple of our eye. Tí ètò rògbòdìyàn tó wà ní ayé Job tó bá dá mi agbára mi ò ní ká. Mi ò fẹ́ sọ ìgbàgbọ́ nù. So, Ọlọ́run máa ń fi èèyàn pamọ́ fún ògo èèyàn láti hàn. So, it's for him with his God to have a more better relationship with his God. Torí gbogbo àwọn tó ń jó káàkiri bí ẹni tó kọ́kọ́ pè ó ní they should make sure they make heaven. Àwọn ló kù. Títí wọn ló kù. Because Genesis ṣẹ́yà ti ti ẹ̀ nísìn. Àti rí ti Genesis. Àti ìmẹ́sì tí wọ́n ṣáwọn ọmọ tó máa ṣẹlẹ̀ lọ́la. Nǹkan tó máa ṣẹlẹ̀ in the next few minutes kò sẹ́ni tó mọ̀. Ẹlẹ́nu ara dẹ̀ ni wá. Ẹlẹ́nu ara ní gbogbo wa. So ẹ̀dá tó bá ń lùlù bànújẹ́ fún ẹlòmíràn kó má gbàgbé pé téèyàn bá ń lùlù èèyàn ó mọ̀ gbà téèyàn náà máa jó sí. Tó mọ̀ tó bá lùlù bànújẹ́ fẹ́lòmíì fẹ́rẹ́ pẹ́ nìyẹn ń jó. Àwọn náà ò ní mọ̀ gbà tó máa jó sí. So kí wọ́n ṣọ́ra ṣe, that is my own contribution. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Hello? Hello?
Hello, sir.
Hello, good evening, good afternoon.
Am I at your I hope that is Victor King.
Yes, please, go ahead.
Okay. Mo fẹ́ contribute sí nǹkan tẹ́ ẹ sọ ni o.
Go ahead, man.
Nǹkan tí mo mọ̀ tí mo fẹ́ tẹ̀lé pé mi ò ṣe Celestial member. I'm not a Celestial member, but I grew up to know Celestial kí wọ́n láì obìnrin àwọn olùkọ́. So tí Ọládélé Genesis tó wá lọ́nà obìnrin nǹkan tí wọ́n sọ fà wọ́n fi bẹ̀rẹ̀ pọ̀ tó wọn nìyẹn. He has so many wives. And calling of God nínú ayé wọn kò dẹ̀ dín kúrò grace of God kò dẹ̀ dín kúrò. Now nǹkan tí mo notice ni pé over the last 10-15 years Celestial is going into an extinction. And I watch this young man from afar and I can't but appreciate the grace of God upon his life. Let us face the fact this man is a man, he's not God, so he's not perfect. So everybody knows definitely he will have his own flaws. For one thing, tí mo mọ̀ ni wípé ẹni tó máa ga láyé tó máa ní àwọn ọ̀tá tó pọ̀. But it is a shame wípé this man that has brought Celestial back to limelight because mo mọ̀ pé Celestial lọ. My daddy was a evangelist. He said, "Báwọn lọ rí." She understand. So I know all this ètò owó nǹkan tó máa ń ṣe ní from afar. And mo dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé church àwọn old church ní Celestial wà àwọn arúgbó ẹ̀ ló ń lọ sí àwọn young generation wọn fẹ́ wọ white wọn fẹ́ lọ mọ́ everybody ti jápa. For the last 5-10 years now, this Genesis man, okay, me, Mobolo Shebashe, call our youth back. We will revolutionize this Celestial church. We'll bring it to a world standard. Then we will try as much as possible to make it acceptable. We want any go to admire their word of praise of worship. The way Goshen preach, yes, all many flaws with it, but believe me sincerely, there are some of his messages to are life uplifting, to are spirit uplifting, to help àwọn èèyàn, to really consider ó máa ní àwọn títí ẹ̀ tó support ẹ̀. So, but the shameful thing ni pé wọ́n sẹ̀lé àwọn àgbà sẹ̀lé yẹn, wọ́n ní ọpọlọ. Nǹkan tó ga tó ń gbé ògo yín ga ẹ̀dẹ̀ fẹ́ bá tiẹ̀ jẹ́. So I know wípé nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ definitely àwọn àgbàṣe yẹn ní lọ́wọ́. Oladele ti step on so many people's toes. But let me tell you this thing. Victory and evil cannot be victorious over good for long. This is a temporary setback. And it's even not a setback.
It's not a setback for me.
Deeply. Gbogbo rejoice tó ní àwọn oníjọsìn kí ló pa àwọn woman jẹ́sẹ̀ bukì àbí nǹkan tó ní rejoice àkó àti maureen agent of Lucifer but ní pé it is temporal kò lè permanent. God knew what happened and it has been destined pé ó fẹ́ lọ preserve life for Ọládélé ni ó mọ̀ wípé battle ahead ó sì máa mighty. He has gone to prepare him to fortify him against the enemies of progress and agents of destruction by Bukky Jesse and Co. and those Celestial church members. So, and in doing that, all that lọ fi pamọ́ because we believe that this is not what it because wọn bá conspire jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ kí gbogbo ayé kọ́ ni wọ́n dìtẹ̀ mọ́ àti kí Ọlọ́run bá gbà fún wọn ni o. Ọlọ́run gbà fún wọn sí if there is a of course we all know there is a conspiracy. How much is 17 million? Even people on Facebook we can raise it. I'm not a member of Celestial, but I'm not Kakadawo. Papa, Mako, 5, Mako, if what it is 10 pounds, Mako. You know, so I believe me, alone in what to pay for Oladele, she will not money. So what is going to happen is I know when he come out, he will become a brand new person, like a gold that has gone into fire and he has been rebranded. Oh my, I want to be a better person. And he's going because I know God has called him. And when God has called him, he will be glorified. God God will glorify himself in it and his mission on earth. So definitely he is coming back to be a bigger person. So it's same to all those celestial, old age people, old age food, don't pariwo. Same to Maureen, same to all the detractors. God bless you. God bless you.
Thank you.
Nice evening, sir.
Hello, good afternoon. Hello. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello. Good afternoon. Thank you very much. Let's say go full program today. But I believe that God has something to do with him. The first time, two my was in Nigeria to go on 6 most of them are contact the church dada. Most of them they like 2-3 days or 3 like a week. God really, as in all of more ṣiṣẹ́ gan fún money iṣẹ́ ọ̀gá tó máa padà dé church ní ìjọba gbogbo láti sell àwọn èèyàn tó tẹ̀lé wọn iṣẹ́ ọ̀dẹ ọ fún wọn ní ọ́fíìsì níbẹ̀ dẹ́pọ̀ fi attend sáwọn èèyàn gbogbo owó dá everybody lọ join church nígbà yẹn nítorí pé lọ sí sell yẹn nígbà yẹn so this time I believe that ọlọ́run nìkan tó fẹ́ fi ṣe so ẹ ṣe gan kò sí nǹkan tó fẹ́ we love him nǹkan tó understand yẹn so kò sí nǹkan tó fẹ́ ṣẹlẹ̀ what's said we will still love him and we will still stand by him. Thank you very much. I really appreciate this.
Thank you. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Mr. Picture, Christian Bonnie. Olúwa máa fún yín ṣe o.
Amen.
Máa increase wisdom yín.
Amen.
Ẹ jọ̀ọ́, mo fẹ́ contribute níbi tí ni.
Go ahead, please.
Mr. Ọládélé, Ọlọ́run kì í ṣe ọba ìkà. Ọlọ́run tó mú wọn lọ síbi tọ́nà yẹn, onírìsìn tó fi jẹ́ kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀. Nígbà tó bá máa padà, ojúmọ́ àti gbogbo àwọn tó ń gángọ̀, wọ́n rò pé àwọn ti rí ẹ̀yìn prọfẹ̀tì yìí. Nǹkan tó wọ́n sì ní pé mò tún lè sàtẹ̀ ní pé wọ́n ṣe àwọn nǹkan tí ò dáa. Ìwá ìtàkùn kan wọn máa rejoice on that for another human being. It's so sad. But having said that, only because mo fẹ́ share with lórí platform yìí, I'm calling for the first time. A kind of experience that I had with a friend. And the reason why mo ṣe pè ní pé mo rí àwọn kọ́mẹ̀tì kan níbí. Ṣé rí àwọn èèyàn wa? A ní àbùtì kan. Nǹkan tá a bá mọ̀ ní ká mọ̀ ní ká bìlíìfù pé a mọ̀. Ibi tá a bá rí mọ ní ká mọ̀ pa rí mọ. Àmọ́ nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ round the world. Nǹkan tá a bá bọ́ síta máa ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ni pé we know it all, which is wrong. Bàtà explain nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ pẹ̀lú Prophet Genesis pẹ̀lú èèyàn tó gbé wọn lọ sí court. Ẹ ṣàlàyé pé wọ́n wà in relationship. Anybody pẹ̀lú common sense tó bá ní orí tó ń rò àròjinlẹ̀ máa mọ̀ wípé when you are in a relationship whatever tó bá happen gbà yẹn kò jẹ́ pé wọ́n dẹ̀ yẹn bí tó jẹ́ nìkankan because ẹjọ́ ń ṣe nǹkan papọ̀ ni. So it's a fraud. Àwọn tó ń ṣe nǹkan tó rí kí ní bíbá pé it's a fraud, it's a fraud. Mo sorry wọn ní ọpọlọ tó ń rò. Ẹ jẹ́ kí wọ́n tó sọ nǹkan tí mo fẹ́ sọ. I have a friend here. In fact, káàdì ìjẹ́ fún work. Ṣé rí owó jíjẹ ìlara nǹkan tó máa cost sínú ayé àwọn ẹ̀dá míì. Wọ́n lọ pé àwọn ọmọ wọn lọ́wọ́ kọ́ àwọn. Ọ̀rẹ́ mi jí ó wà nílé ọkọ. Ó wá tún ní ọkọ tó ti ń fẹ́ tẹ́lẹ̀. In fact, I have a status on your platform now. So my phone is not for this phone call with me. Ṣé mo fẹ́ pàtó ti bímọ kan fún ọkọ tó fẹ́? Ọkọ tó ti ń fẹ́ tẹ́lẹ̀ tí wọ́n tó fẹ́ ra wọn tẹ́lẹ̀. Ó tún wá lọ fẹ́ ìyẹn. Ìfẹ́sọ́lẹ̀ ó bímọ fẹ́ iṣẹ́ ẹ̀kọ́ kò ń ṣe méjì kan. Ó bí at least mẹ́ta.
Ṣé ti àmọ̀ràn?
Obìnrin ni o. Mẹ́wàá ó ní fẹ́ fẹ́yàwó. Ìjọba fẹ́yàwó. Bàbá yìí try láti lọ sí àwọn tó ti lọ ṣe dára lẹ́sìkò. Ó mẹ́sàn wípé òun pa relationship rẹ̀ jẹ́. Ṣé ọba rẹ̀ yẹ̀rọ pé tó bá rí mọ ni kó bìlífù mọ́ kó má rò pé terrible things are happening. Obìnrin tó wà ní London tó lọ fẹ́ prophet ní Nàìjíríà tó dẹ̀ lọ kọ sí London. What are you looking for? Bàbá yìí pé she didn't want to let go of this man. Ó bá kí ìtọ̀tọ̀ sí London. Ó sì fún this man sí Nàìjíríà tó bá ti lọ kó máa rí ìyẹ̀tọ̀ máa sábẹ̀sì. Tàbí ẹ̀dọ̀ lè gbà sí prophet ẹ̀ máa rí inú bí. Obìnrin yẹn tí mo sọ̀rọ̀ yìí, and I've seen a lot in my life. Mo mọ géèmù àwọn obìnrin ní. Àwọn ọkùnrin náà kó náà máa ń wà ní. Ó jẹ́ pé ẹni tí wọ́n ti ń tọ́, they want to destroy that person's life. By all means.
Kàkà kékun má jẹ ṣèṣe.
By all means.
Àbí ṣàwàdànù.
Wọ́n ti ṣe àwàdà. Bẹ̀rẹ̀ tó kí ni wọ́n máa lọ kiri àti ọ̀rẹ́ ilé ìfẹ́ ti búra tó wà ní English yẹn. Àwọn méjì wọ́n bímọ pọ̀. Just because, okay, eléyìí tó adigunlẹ̀ kan fi kàn wọ́n ọ̀rẹ́ náà gbé gbà. So this is an agony for them. Láti carry out evil plan wọn. Ẹ̀fọ́ sì tó yẹ kó mọ̀ ní wípé ẹni tí a lè fún Ọlọ́run la máa fà lé lọ́wọ́. Tó fẹ́ràn pé àwọn lè máa tánìṣe méjì máa yẹn. Ọlọ́run bá sì ṣe tán láti tánìṣe méjì tó bá dì sábòkò tó ń ṣe fún un. Ọlọ́run máa wẹ̀ mọ́ àwọn olójúmọ́ àti àdẹ́dọ̀ sípè. The only thing is pé àwọn tí wọ́n súnmọ́ bọ́ Prophet Oladele they should please wọ́n jọ kí wọ́n dúró at this time period. Kí wọ́n di ìjọ náà mú pẹ̀lú ìyàwó prophet kí wọ́n di ìjọ náà mú kó má jẹ́ kí àwọn èèyàn burúkú kó kó ẹ̀kọ́ ìbànújẹ́ fún wọn. Because they said in it is a very indeed. Ọlọ́run àárẹ̀ ti gbogbo wọn mú. Ẹ ṣé gan ni Mr. Victor. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I wish I have the privilege to say one or two things before I leave. Oh God, people are calling so bad. Let me hold on and say something very quick. Now, everything I explained to you was a total account of an event based on the information that was available to me. Again, was based on the purity and the sincerity. It has nothing to take a side on anybody. It is not intended to take side of either Genesis or Lide. It was based on what was presented in court. What took the both parties, same way that Genesis did not deny that Lide gave him money, Lide did not deny that he was having an affair with Genesis. So there is no argument at all in this whole story. Now, my own reflections came after narrating the story to you, and I am entitled to it based on my logical reasoning, based on my, facts analysis of certain things that are just untrue, unclear. Now, again, it is not intended to defend him. Do I think that Prophet Oladele did not do some things really right? Of course, and I mentioned it. Why don't you fix this? Do you know that last week I woke up and I had a premonition? I am saying this live. I called and I started calling Nigeria and I tried to call somebody in UK. I called the chairman of Genesis in America and I said, what are you guys doing to all these people's case? Don't think because they are not talking, that means you two, you just chill because they are not talking again. I said, Agekwe Joman Shuru. That was my word. I woke up and I just had that thing in me. I never knew this was coming. I gave me God the shisha, but I gave prophets in the mirror. No, but for real though, they could bear me witness. They are listening to me now. I said, Agekwe Jo, Oman Shura. I was angry. In fact, I had to have a very severe argument with one of them. He was trying to explain to me, no, that they have to see plan. I said, no, I can't see your plan. Oh, they are supposed to. Why are they not in court in London yet? No, they are supposed to get a court. I said, no, the MMM just got their court gate and it was way after that. What is going wrong? I was just unrest. Agekwe Joman Shuru, I was saying it. It's a sample, Lele. Now, what am I saying in essence? There are certain things that I think Genesis might not make right decisions. But the biggest mistake he ever made was Bukky Jesse. Take it or leave it. There are members of Genesis today who are not happy with President Olajide. These are committed members, people in leadership. They are not happy with him till today because they warned him. They warned him. There are few people who saw the hand. But one of the weaknesses of leadership is that when you have grown to a certain level in leadership that you are at the top and you don't have people who can reprimand you or correct you, it's difficult. You are vulnerable to make poor choices. I don't know what she looked like to him. I don't know what exactly the kind of what in continual Romolara. I don't know it. She's a piece of shit from day one, but he has extended love to her unprecedented, which is the expectation of a pastor. Actually, don't get me wrong. That is what a pastor should do. But Apostle Suleiman said something. I watched one of his message recently, and he said, if somebody did you evil, he said, the person do you evil and come back to confess that he did you evil. He said, forgive them and move on. He said, but somebody did you evil and you find out. He said, break that relationship. Forgive them, but break the relationship. There are people that you show love to afar off. Living in love or showing love to people does not necessarily mean bringing them to your confines and your comfort zone. He knows better by now. Bukky Jesse is the biggest mistake he ever made. Because he gave birth to a lot of things. 5 bloggers attacking one person. On what ground? Okay, let us put it down. Kí ni allegation Genesis against Elide? Kí ló ṣe? Reflect it. Think. Don't assume. Just sit down and say, kí ló sọ pé Genesis ṣe náà? Ó gbowó lọ́wọ́ girlfriend there. Do you hear the way it sound? Because they were girlfriend, whether you like it or not. Kí ló ṣe? Single man don't date a lady to assume pé single lady ni. Okay, single lady yẹn wá lówó jù lọ wá kó fún toro believe no dream ẹ. Okay, and that's why he's in court. Okay, you see that the way that sounds? So ask me. Somebody say, I saw a comment and say, are you telling me that Genesis did not do anything wrong? So let me tell you what he did wrong. You guys don't know what is morally wrong and what is a crime. That's the part that I'm not getting it right. Crime? No. Morals? Yes. Morals? Oh yeah, it was a crime. I don't know if anybody understand what I'm saying. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. He allowed... See, let me talk to the men. Men, be careful of overzealous women. No. Mo dey like bó de ṣe yẹn ṣé tàbá dẹ̀ rí 2 million ká fi bẹ̀rẹ̀ ṣe first of all tóbìnrin bá ti ń bá ẹ sọ̀rọ̀ tó ń lo collective noun. Hear me, men, gather here, listen. Tóbìnrin bá ti ń bá ẹ sọ̀rọ̀ tó ń lo collective noun, tó ń lo be careful. Be careful of overzealous women. Be careful of overzealous women. Ṣé àbúdẹ̀ ṣe ń ṣe yìí? Tàbá dẹ̀ rí 5 million. Ṣé tí n bá wá yánkọ́ káàdẹ̀ lè fi bẹ̀rẹ̀ business? You are the one that share dream. She's using her for your own dream. A woman is using her for your own vision. JP. Oko là fún ọ̀gbẹ́ni kò sí ha nínú vision onívision mọ vision ẹ o. Onívision mọ vision ẹ o. Ẹ jẹ́ ká. Let me tell you a story that I knew. A rich lady, torí ẹ̀ ògbéwé, that is not at the mechanic sound. I'm telling you a real life story. These people are adults, Agbalagba, and we hear their story, we knew their story. These are people I know personally. Was dating a boyfriend that is academically sound, but kò lówó lọ. Òun fail in school. But I won't be fund education there. I'm telling you a real life story. When they finish secondary school and they want to collect JAMB, the boy tó mọ̀wé kò rówó gba JAMB, kò rówó WAEC. This girl took money from her parents to sit for final exam and gave it to the boy to go and write exam. The boy wrote the exam, gained admission to the University of Lagos, University of Ibadan. This girl work her ass out, have to leave the house so that they will think she's in school. Was collecting money from her parents to sponsor the education of this guy. Sponsor the see, òṣì ló ń jẹ́ káwọn people yìí máa ronú bọ́n ṣe ń ronú yìí, òṣì gangan ni. Kí ló ti ṣe fọkùnrin tí ó máa gbórí ẹ̀ dàrú? Now, be careful of free lunch. Men, somebody said, do I think agency is something wrong? Yes, hell yeah. When benevolence is going beyond normal, don't allow your situation to condition your disposition. Of course, he knows better now. He was a young man then, so I'm not judging him. But I just want to strike a balance that I can see what was wrong in the story. Because he was young and he's not the age, he was poor. Gangan ni àìwó òṣì. Bíbélì ní òṣì tálákà ní parun wọn. He was poor. But be careful. Don't allow your situation to affect and reflect on your disposition. Be careful of free lunch. I say this to everybody every time. Be careful of free lunch. Once it's coming free, suspect it, because you see in reality, nothing is free. If it doesn't cost you your vision, it doesn't cost you your life, if it cost you your pride, if it doesn't cost you your pride, it might cost you your life. Be careful of free lunch. Àmọ́ yẹn ó dẹ̀ help me gan kíníkan. Wọ́n kó 2 million wá òun gbà. Ó gbé 1 million wá òun gbà. Ó gba ilé 3 bedroom flat fún ẹ gbà. Ó ra mọ́tò sí ND ó gbà. And you don't have anything to reciprocate. Nǹkan máa ṣe ẹ́ o. Ó pẹ́ ó yá o. Because you see, kò sẹ́ni tó promise a future new relationship. It does, because you will be obliged. See. Let me tell you something with gifts. Once you are being given, every receiver is committed to oblige loyalty to the giver. How do I put it in simple words? Every receiver is committed to oblige loyalty to the giver. You are the receiving end consistently. It is a legitimate and voluntary way of enslaving your mind. Because it will be expected for you to oblige. Even mo lọ sí London, ó bí mo fẹ́ lò mí. Mo ti náwó fún ẹ̀jú bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ, mo ṣe expect pé kó dúró lóyè àti mi ni. It is a wrong idea, it's a selfish idea, but that is our mindset. Màá wá náwó fún ẹ, màá furnish ẹ, mo mú ẹ kúrò nínú rọ̀fọ̀rọ̀fọ̀, o ti wá touch ní, o ti wá fine, o wá lọ fẹ́ fẹ́ ọmọ kan, wọn bí ẹ rí, màá bá ẹ fà á. Don't lose it. Don't let your situation, because you see, the situation you are now is a situation. You will not die there. Hear me. To everyone who believes in God, you are just in a situation. Situation is a transition. You are going somewhere. If you allow your situation now to trade your integrity and you are eating free lunch, by the time the person will bring the sleep, it's just like you are in a buffet. They say, eat anything you can. Èló ni rice yín, no ẹ jẹun sá. Ẹ máa wọn sọ alámàlà tó yẹ pé tó bá ta àmàlà fún yín, wọ́n máa tó bá ní pé ẹran ọ̀hún sọ pé ẹran méjì, wọ́n máa fi bóòlù, wọ́n á fi kó ògúfe wá ni. So wàá máa mú, wàá máa jẹ ni. Wọ́n ò ní sọ pé ó yá ìta ògúfe méjì, wọ́n máa bu ògúfe wá ni. You know those amala joints where they will just pack it in a bowl for you. So oúnjẹ àmàlà yẹn bó ṣe ní inspiration tó wá máa ṣe máa bu ògúnfe yẹn. Àwọn tó láwọ tó máa pílì sí fáǹsì ẹ̀ náà máa kó sínú abọ́ yẹn. Wàá máa bu àwọn aláwọ̀ yẹn jẹ. Nígbà tó o bá bù jẹ tán, inú ẹ ti yó, you are satisfied, inú ẹ dùn, ògúnfe yẹn dùn gan, ó ti mu bẹ̀, àbí? Wọ́n wá gbé bíìlì ẹ̀ dé, wọ́n á yẹ lọ́wọ́ mi. Wọ́n wá ní 48. Wọ́n á ní nísọ̀ nípànù yìí 48. Ṣé Mr. Biggs láwa ní bí ẹrí wàá fa bọ́lá stars ni. That's how it is. When you are taking the free lunch, you are taking the once over niceness is begin. See, suspect anything that comes free. Suspect it because it's not really free. It's just that they did not put the price tag on it yet. If I go to a store and I see product, not the price more máa ní confidence láti shop. But àwọn lè tẹ́ pé wàá fi sí basket ibi checkpoint ló ṣe máa lọ mọ price yẹn ó máa ń yíwọ́ o because ìgbà míì price yẹn ń ṣe nǹkan tó pé o. Paying the price is not the problem, but not knowing the price is the problem. By the time you get to check out and now you're that this is you're not embarrassing this one, you're not taking something out of your cart. This is especially to the men. Be careful of free lunch because nothing in reality is free. Nothing in reality is free. We can't tell all this story without getting a lesson from it. Nothing in reality is free. Women. Define your happiness by yourself. Clearly, Lide was looking for something. It's called happiness. She can't find it. Left the husband in UK, came to Nigeria, and then, yes, she can't find it. And then she went. Once your happiness is dependent on something or someone, you will never be happy. Turn back for 17 million cash down, they need life will need balance now. Hello? Oh, did it drop? Hello? Yes, please. Yes, sir. Good.
Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. This is Datola Duque. I just want to quickly chip in one or two things. Sọ̀rọ̀ tán lágbára Ọlọ́run. Ní agbára Ọlọ́run ẹni sọ̀rọ̀ tán, àwa náà ní sọ̀rọ̀ tán. Ọgbọ́n ìmọ̀ àti ìwé Ọlọ́run máa fi jogún fẹ́ni tó bá fẹ́ kọ́ lọ́run fi jogún fún. This issue on ground is for only the intelligent and people who reason well and tó máa ń reason pẹ̀lú logic. Ọ̀rọ̀ tẹ́sán sí ọ̀rọ̀ tí máa ń sọ ní fọ́kùnrin ìpè kéèyàn máa kọ́kùnrin máa ṣọ́ra pẹ̀lú obìnrin tó bá wà pẹ̀lú. If only there are ringers on some women's head àbí ọkùnrin gangan wọ́n mọ̀ pé tó bá sún mẹ́nu ó yẹ kí brains wọn kó blow off right and short of your head. Ilé ayé yóò bá sàn díẹ̀. Nígbà tí èèyàn kúrò tó lọ bọ́kùnrin tó fọkàn kan lẹ̀ àwọn tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ ó yẹ kó mọ̀ pé ó yẹ kó lè reason pé the logic behind it pé èèyàn fi ọkùnrin lẹ̀ ó lọ bá ẹlòmíì ẹni tó fi sílẹ̀ yẹn ó ní tó ti ṣe sí. Majority of people talking wọ́n kàn sọ nǹkan tó wù wọ́n ni. Majority of obìnrin tó wà ń ta bẹ́ẹ̀ nísìn ájò tó ń ṣe é pọ̀ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ ọkùnrin because they want to tie a man down because they want to make themselves relevant. Kò sóbìnrin tí ò fẹ́ bójú kò bọ̀ ká máa yára one brain ká máa wò pé tí máa ṣe nǹkan ìdáìdáì báwo ló ṣe máa lọ tí máa bá tẹni ìjẹ́ by doing jazz on him by attracting him to this and that. How is he going to grow in the future? Which a lot of women don't think. Some of these women ní ọmọ ọkùnrin nǹkan táwọn obìnrin sì ń ṣe àwọn ọmọ wọn ọkùnrin tó bá máa níyàwó àbí tó bá ti níyàwó rate báwọn gbọ̀ngàn ṣe máa ṣe wọ́n máa wà over protective because ọmọ ọkọ tó ti dán lára wò pẹ̀lú àwọn ọkùnrin tó ń tẹ̀lé. ẹ sọ nǹkan kan lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí ẹni there's no free lunch kò sí. For most women, when they do this, when they do that, they expect something in return. But ìwọ tó fẹ́ hakoko, tó fẹ́ dúró lórí ọkùnrin kan. Ìwọ gangan òun láti níwà kí gbogbo jazz òṣì ẹ̀ ń ṣe kó tó work. You can't force a relationship to happen. If it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen. O lè nítorí pé o ní change lọ́wọ́, o lè sọ pé torí pé o lówó lọ́wọ́, o ní links, o ní prestige, o lè lò yẹn láti fi overpower. Àwọn obìnrin náà, obìnrin ní ìṣe, tó bá rọ́kùnrin tó ṣe bá gbogbo most girls out there these days, from what we see, from what we hear, èwo nu wọn ni ò dún kiri lórí ọkọ lọ́kọ. Èwo nu wọn ni ò sáré kiri láti gbọ́kọ lọ́kọ. All these women, Jerry, some people are not understanding it. Iṣẹ́ tí Ìṣọ̀lá Adé, Ọládélé Genesis tó ṣe, iṣẹ́ ayé ni. He cannot cut off anybody that comes around him. He has his shortcomings. He's human. He has blood in his veins. Is there àìmọye obìnrin tó máa test man ni? Àìmọye àwọn tó fẹ́ palẹ̀ mọ́ ẹ̀ pé jọ ọkọ̀ tí ẹ ṣe. Ó dẹ̀ sign in his own way. Àtọmọdé wọn àtàgbà wọn. Every ọmọdé àgbà obìnrin, majority wọn, they want to be with this guy. Àwa náà ń gbọ́, we hear. Some of them we see. If tó bá lọ́pọlọ lórí wà á rí interactions àti behaviour wọ́n ṣe máa ń ṣe pẹ̀lú olùṣọ́. The man is where he's at now. Just like a lot of people have said. He's there for a reason. Èmi believe pé Ọlọ́run fi olùṣọ́ pamọ́ ni. Tó bá wà that who knows what would happen to him or what's going to happen to him. A lot of people have said a whole lot of stuff. Ọkùnrin ẹjọ́ nítorí Ọlọ́run. Ẹ máa mọ obìnrin tẹ máa bá ṣe, tẹ máa bá ní interaction, tẹ máa bá lò pọ̀. Mi mọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe fẹ́ ṣe. I sometimes pray for men when I read things on Facebook, when I hear things, when I see people tó wà involved. Ó mọ̀ pé èèyàn wà married. Ó dẹ̀ ń lépa ẹ̀. Ó ṣáà ṣe lórí mo ti sọ mo ní fatal attraction ní gbogbo nǹkan táwọn obìnrin yìí ṣe. Obìnrin tó láyà tó dìde kúrò ní ọkọ ẹ̀ tó travel tó lọ bá ọkùnrin míì. Ó wù ẹ́ ni. Obìnrin tó bá ṣe fọ́kùnrin, I'm saying it, ó wù ú ni. Ó ń tọ́ bẹ bọ̀yàn lọ́rùn láyé ìsìn mọ́. Because wọn náà fẹ́ fi rajà rẹ̀ fúnra ẹ̀ ni. But ìwọ tó fẹ́ rajà rẹ̀ fúnra ẹ̀, ó láti wo ibi tó fẹ́ rajà rẹ̀ yẹn sí. Is it a do or die affair? I'm telling you, in my own ọgbọ́n ọmọdé, majority of these women wọ́n ti kára wọn ipe àwọn wọ́n ti kára wọn pé wọn ò lè rí ọkùnrin tó bẹ́tà nǹkan tó fi lẹ̀. Obìnrin tó bá wọ́n ní low self-esteem. Obìnrin tó bá dára ẹ̀ lójú tọkùnrin tó bá ṣe bákan pẹ̀lú ẹ̀, you move on with your life. Every day ẹ máa gbómi parí lórí ọkọ lọ́kọ. Every day ẹ máa pariwo lórí nǹkan tí ó kàn yín. Ìwọ tó lọ bọ́kọ lọ́kọ mọ̀ kó níyàwó lé náà. So what is all this ariwo about? If a man doesn't pay you the way you want him to pay you by being in a relationship, move the F on. Ọkùnrin kù gbòòrò. Ṣùgbọ́n nǹkan kan ni àwọn obìnrin tó women don't realize. Tí o tó bá lẹ́wà tó bá níwà, you are nothing. Tó bá fi pé ó dá tí o bá níwà. Kò sọ́kùnrin tó máa dúró tì yàn. And there's something I always say as well. Most men don't know what love is, especially our African men. But one thing they know is when you respect them. Ìtumọ̀ love sí most Nigerian men nìyẹn. O fẹ́ ga lọ́kùnrin, òun ṣe wọ́n òun ṣe jàtijàti. Kò sọ́kùnrin tó máa dúró, o bá wọṣọ $1 million látòkè délẹ̀. He's not gonna stay. Tó o bá níwà, tó o mọ̀rọ̀ sọ, tó o mọ̀ bó ṣe ń báyọ̀ relate. Ẹ̀yin ọkùnrin ẹ ṣáàjọ. Ọlọ́run á máa fún yín ní làákàyè àti ọgbọ́n pé ọmọ yìí ṣé no go area ni àbí go area ni. Kò séèyàn tó máa rẹ́sẹ̀ wèrè tí ò ní bù. Ẹ jẹ́ ká sọ̀rọ̀ síbi tọ́rọ̀ wà. Tó bá jẹ́ pé ó fall sí the other side náà ni. Tó jẹ́ pé olùṣọ́ ló kó 17 million tó ti sponsor yìí lẹ̀. Ọmọ ilẹ̀ tó fọkọ́lẹ̀ lé tó wá bá wọn lẹ́kọ̀ọ́. Tóun náà ní gbowó ni. Téèyàn bá ń fẹ́ra èèyàn.
Ṣèbọn kówó fún Kàfáyá, ṣèbí Kàfáyá lù wọ́n jìbìtì títí tó fi sá lọ náà. Tit for bó life ṣe wà nìyẹn. Àwa ti sanwó sukú ọmọ tó fi jáde báyìí tó dẹ̀ JP.
Tó bá dẹ̀ ní sáfàní oníkálukú ló lẹ̀ experience tiẹ̀. Oníkálukú ló lẹ̀ experience tiẹ̀. But when you go into a relationship and you are in a relationship, regardless, maybe you fucking things or not, excuse my language, maybe I'm dora yín, friendship lásán, expectations máa wà. Tó bá dẹ̀ rí pé nǹkan yìí ga jẹ̀mí ẹ lọ, you are move forward. Ọmọ ẹ̀ tó bá dángájá tó dára ẹ̀ lójú tó mọ̀ pé yes òun sá wẹ̀wẹ̀, ọkùnrin míì wà lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ tó máa bá sọ̀rọ̀ náà. Ó fẹ́ parẹ́ lórí èèyàn tó lórí ọkùnrin ẹyọkọ. Even àwọn ọkùnrin tó bá ń wù ẹ̀ gan, gbogbo wọn àwọn tó ń ṣe yẹn is a turn off. Obìnrin gan pápá is a turn off when you watch all these things. Okay, Genesis ti lọ sí jail. Genesis ti lọ sí detention. Ó máa bọ́ sábẹ̀. Like people have rightfully said, Baba Sancho has been there. Nelson Mandela all over Tinoni. I'm okay. Jail is not for animals. Olùṣọ́ náà dẹ̀ ọmọ kan wá ti rí shortcomings one thing because everybody ló kó mọ́ra àti wèrè àtàfínwín àtàjà àtẹran everybody because he's an olùṣọ́. He has his own shortcomings. He's human. He has blood in his veins. Ṣọ́mọ kan máa dẹ́rẹ̀ ẹ̀ sórí èèyàn kan sí èèyàn máa ní kò ní bá sọ̀rọ̀. How does a man want to know who to talk to and who not to talk to as a woman? Likewise, obìnrin náà. So ọ̀rọ̀ yìí èmi ò máa rí wo tó ń pa everybody yára ẹ̀ brain ni. This is a lesson for you to know how to take caution. Kò sẹ́ni tó perfect, kò sẹ́ni tó gbọ́n tán, kò sẹ́ni tó mọ̀ tán. Ẹni tó dẹ̀ fi ẹ̀wọ̀n tó fi ń yọ̀yàn. Ẹni tó dé la mọ̀ àmì tó ń bọ̀. Ẹni tó dé la mọ̀ àmì tó ń bọ̀. And all these people making noise. Èwo ni wọ́n ní ò tí pass through jail rí tó ń pariwo yìí. Èwo náà lòun náà ti ṣẹ̀wọ̀n rí tó ṣòdù tó ṣẹ̀wọ̀n kí ló pariwo wèrè gan. Ọlọ́run á túbọ̀ máa fi ṣọ́ ẹ̀ṣọ́ gbogbo wa. Everybody káwa náà tẹ̀ láti wà careful. Ọ̀rọ̀ tẹ́sán ọ̀rọ̀ ńlá mi regarding ọ̀rọ̀ ọkùnrin. Pé kò sí frisbee. Ṣùgbọ́n this life is always double what do we call standard.
Life of balance.
Wọ́n ní pariwo tó ń pa yìí náà.
Ben.
Wọ́n ní pariwo wèrè tó ń pa yìí. Ọlọ́run á pẹ̀lú yín o, Ọlọ́run á wà pẹ̀lú yín o. Ọlọ́run á pẹ̀lú gbogbo wa o. God will just is just kéèyàn máa reason kó wà logical kó tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní sọ jáde lẹ́nu. Kí ló dé? All this noise they're making, they're not even learning anything from all this that is going on. Kéèyàn wà kó bọ́ sórí social media kó máa dunnú. Ipe wọ́n mú ọmọ làkejì sẹ́wọ̀n, wọ́n mú ọmọ làkejì sí detention or whatever you want to call it. And then lọ́mọ kí lákàlà. Do you even know what's going to happen to your kids in the future? I pray nothing like that will happen to anybody's kids. But ọ̀rọ̀ ni kéèyàn máa sọ̀rọ̀. Kí ló dé? Everybody ló léèyàn títí ẹ̀. Ẹ̀yin léèyàn àwọn títí tó wà inside yìí. You can't bully anybody. You can't stop anybody from either loving Genesis or being a friend. You can't say we shouldn't air our opinions. Kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ gangan? My prayer is Ọlọ́run ọlọ́jọ́ ìní will bring.
Right. I gotta go. I have to go. Somebody is calling me from Ireland. That will be my last call. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, please.
Nǹkan tí mi wò ni pé ká ṣe case study lórí ọ̀rọ̀ tó ṣẹlẹ̀ yìí.
ọ̀rọ̀ tó ṣẹlẹ̀ yìí ó pín sí ọ̀nà méjì tèmi rí tó pín sí ni pé nígbà míì tí nǹkan bá ń ṣẹlẹ̀ èmi believe pé wọ́n bá ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ká lè fi kọ́gbọ́n irú àwọn olùṣọ́ náà àbáwọn pastors tí wọ́n máa ń depend lé pé táwọn ò bá ti gbà látọ̀dọ̀ àwọn tí wọ́n bá rí pé wọ́n vulnerable pé àwọn ò lè Ọlọ́run ò tí gbàdúrà wọn. And ká tún padà sí the other side náà ti tọ̀rọ̀ obìnrin yẹn àwọn ẹlòmíì wọn ò mọ story yẹn dáadáa according to the story wọ́n sọ pé obìnrin yẹn pẹ̀lú ọkọ ẹ̀ ní issue ló fi the time tó fi fẹ́ Genesis yẹn time tó fẹ́ Genesis yẹn tí kò bá promise ẹ̀ ṣe mọ̀ pé bóbìnrin ṣe máa ń ṣe nǹkan àti báwo ọkùnrin ṣe máa ń ṣe nǹkan tọ̀tọ̀ ọ̀tọ̀ ni pé kò promise obìnrin pé o fẹ́ fẹ́ ọ̀tọ̀ ni kẹ́ ẹ mọ̀ pé ẹ̀ ń date ara yín tó bá pé wọ́n ń date ara wọn ni ó máa ní rate tí obìnrin yẹn máa fi náwó because ó mọ̀ pé àwọn kan different pẹ̀lú àwọn but ó ti promise ẹ̀ ní fífẹ́ obìnrin yẹn ti ń plan future pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ ní that moment tó ti promise ní fífẹ́ so kéèsì yẹn ti yàtọ̀tọ̀ síra wọn ó ti believe pé ọkọ òun lélẹ́yìí bẹ́ẹ̀ ló ṣe ń bá Genesis operate ní that moment so ó fẹ́ build the future as a family nígbà yẹn kó tó discover pé okay Genesis tún ní àwọn ẹlòmíì tó ń fẹ́.
irọ́ no ẹ ti change ẹ̀ òun ló lóyún fẹ́ lòmí o.
ok ó lóyún fẹ́ lòmí ni.
ní London bẹ́ẹ̀ ni.
ok nǹkan tẹ́mi wá rí lórí both sides nísìnyí ni pé.
òun lè mọ nǹkan tó fẹ́.
ó kọ́ wa lọ́gbọ́n pé
ọgbọ́n gidi.
àwọn olùṣọ́ most of àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ Olúwa tó máa ń believe pé àwọn tó bá wà vulnerable àwọn lè lò wọ́n to achieve their dreams. ó yẹ yín nǹkan tí mo ń tọ́ láti sọ because èmi rí bíi pé gbogbo ìgbà yẹn náà Genesis ń wò pé Genesis ń plan towards future títí ẹ̀ láti make sure pé òun upgrade ní time yẹn but obìnrin yìí òun plan future pẹ̀lú Genesis even though pé ó lóyún fún ọkùnrin míì ó sì believe pé òun gbọ́dọ̀ ní power lórí Genesis because òun lòun gbé débì kan Genesis dẹ̀kẹ̀rẹ̀ Genesis plan ara títí ẹ̀ based on nǹkan tó ní future as a pastor ẹ ti understand nǹkan tí mo ń tọ́ láti sọ so nǹkan tí èmi rí tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ń sìn ni pé àwọn pastors there are so many things tí wọ́n máa ń ṣe eléyìí kan wà lọ́gbọ́n pé àwọn pastors náà tó bá ti rí àwọn obìnrin tó yẹ pé they are in need of help or tí wọ́n trust wọn kí wọ́n yé máa betray that trust ṣẹ́rẹ́ obìnrin tóbìnrin bá ní issue pẹ̀lú ọkùnrin àbí ọkọ tó ń fẹ́ àbí nǹkan kan obìnrin wọn máa ń wà vulnerable tó yẹ pé it's just like èèyàn ní girlfriend nsìn tí ọkùnrin kan bá ń toast obìnrin lọ́wọ́ tí issue bá ṣẹlẹ̀ láàrin obìnrin yẹn pẹ̀lú ẹni tó fẹ́ gangan ní that moment tínú bá ń bí lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ wọ́n lè take advantage of that obìnrin if care is not taken. ṣé n get the point mi so nǹkan tẹ́mi rí ni pé ṣe àwọn pastors táwọn obìnrin yìí máa ń lọ bá àwọn obìnrin míì nítorí pé ó ti wò ó pé ẹni tóun lè trust ni ó máa fi gbogbo ara sílẹ̀ láti operate pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ ìyẹn ò wá mí pé kó wá jẹ́ pé nítorí pé o jẹ́ pastor mo wá sọ́dọ̀ ẹ̀ you take advantage of me èmi mo ṣì gbọ́ story issue ẹnìkan tó gbélé tí ọ̀rọ̀ ilé ṣẹlẹ̀ tó lóun transfer owó sí ọ̀rọ̀ kìíní ọmọ ṣẹlẹ̀ lèmi náà ó ti yé yín but ìyẹn ò mí pé kémi wá ṣáìdì sẹ́yìn shepherd or pastor totally ó yẹ ká máa wo nǹkan sí both sides but the only thing tẹ́mi rí lórí ọ̀rọ̀ àwọn Nigerians ni pé tá a bá ń ṣáìdì obìnrin àbí tó bá yẹ pé ṣáìdì kan làwọ̀ àbí ṣáìdì bíbá ìlàwà a máa ń fi sentiment sí gbogbo nǹkan tí a bá ń ṣe a máa ń fi sentiment sí tó bá yẹ pé àwọn tó ń tẹ̀lé Genesis wọ́n máa tẹ̀lé Genesis wọ́n ò ní wo perspective the other side tó bá yẹ pé àwọn tó ń tẹ̀lé obìnrin yẹn náà ni wọ́n máa wò pé ó gbá obìnrin yẹn ni wọ́n ò ní wo the other side but in this kind of case èmi wò pé a ní láti wo the other side kí ni fault Genesis kí ni fault obìnrin yìí kí ló jẹ́ kí ọ̀rọ̀ yìí dé ibi tó dé yìí ẹ ti understand nǹkan tí mò ń tọ́ láti sọ. Kí ló jẹ́ kí ọ̀rọ̀ yìí débi tó dé yìí? So a gbọ́dọ̀ wo both side. A gbọ́dọ̀ máa wò ó pé nítorí pé àti love Genesis kó jẹ́ pé because most of our callers wọ́n ń wo ẹni tó ń pariwo. A ní láti wo ẹni tó ń pariwo. Ó jẹ́ ká máa fi ọ̀rọ̀ tó bá ṣẹlẹ̀ sí èèyàn kan ká máa fi ṣe àríkọ́gbọ́n ni. Kò yẹ ká máa wò pé okay nítorí pé ẹnìkan ń fẹ́ kẹ́nìkan lọ sẹ́wọ̀n nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn. Mo believe pé Ọlọ́run fẹ́ ká kọ́ ẹ̀kọ́ kan lórí nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ yìí ló fi ṣẹlẹ̀. Nǹkan tí mi fẹ́ sọ nìyẹn.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you guys know that everybody has right now to their opinion here. So I see you guys are some people are opposing the comment. We see in parts. We can't see differently. I'm sorry I'm not going to be able to take any more calls. I have to leave now. Like I am behind schedule right now. I have other things to attend to. We can't say enough. But in my closing remark, I will give to everyone their own share one by one. To Prophetess OLADELE, one thing is certain, God is with you. Your people are with you. I am with you. But above all, the covenant at which you are called is right in your hand. This is a moment of reflection. This is a moment of reflection. This is a moment where God is giving you the opportunity to define, re-energize. There is no breakthrough without a breaking. You have to break in order to get through. Nemesis is catching up. So it will be judged, it will be condemned. As at when the incident were happening, he take actions based on how much he knows. Maybe he will do better if it is now. Maybe he will make a different decisions if it is now. When I was talking about things that I think he didn't do right or he didn't do well enough, I think most often than not, this case would not generate to this if it wasn't taken with some level of negligence. So this is my word to him. Be of good courage. Your progenitors and fathers of faith were jailed just like you. You are not the first. Certainly you will not be the last. As a matter of fact, if you have not been in it, you can't preach it. T.D. Jakes was in jail before. Was a prisoner of hope. Apostle Paul. We cannot count enough. God is adding to your value and your experience. But above that, it's a time of reflection. It's a time of revitalization. It's a time not to look back, but to look forward and do things differently. It's a time to allow the Holy Spirit to minister to you and restructure the work that he has given into your hand. Affliction will not rise the second time. To Lide, well, congratulations on your victory. I hope this might give you the happiness you've been looking for. I hope you can sleep at night now. I hope you feel better with yourself. I hope this makes you a successful woman. I bet you can't swallow water right now. I bet it that you can't sleep with your eyes closed. Because conscience will ask you questions. Conscience will prick you. Let it not be that you are still not you still don't find happiness, let it not be that you are yet to find happiness. I hope this make you happy. Because if not, I'm sorry I must confess, you will never be. I hope this makes you feel better. I hope this makes you feel better. To Laide's husband, who became the spokesman, all of a sudden Laide is not talking. The husband becomes more energetic and calling every show. Go and fix your balls. Okay? That's all I'm going to say to you. Go fix your balls. One man was hitting my wife for 2 years. And it became a public issue that appeared in court. That one man was sleeping with my legal wife. And then they have argument that they are going to court, and I will be proud to be calling blogger on it. Go and fix your goddamn balls. But since tó jẹ́ pé ọkọ àbọ́dún ni ẹ́, so ọ̀rọ̀ ẹnu ọ̀rọ̀ ló fẹ́ ní. Nǹkan tó bá fún sínú fèrè ni fòrò máa ń fẹ́ jáde. So, but fix your balls. Something is wrong about you. Something is wrong with you. I don't even think that's the husband, honestly. I think that's some machinery that they just hired, because I really don't think a sensible man will be doing all those. Because it's shameful, whether you like it or not. You are more disgraced than Genesis that is in prison. Ìwọ ló wà ní ọkọ àbọ́dún. You better be in prison than be a free man without a voice. To Bukky Jesse and her cohorts, please share this, jubilate, pop campaign. Please do it to the best of your ability while you can. I hope it makes you feel better. I hope this will refund your 32 million as alleged. I hope it makes you a better woman. I hope you find you all the fulfillment you want in your life. I hope at least you can get you a man. Or fix everything that is wrong about you. I don't want to count it for you. You know yourself. You better cheer it and celebrate it and pop it, because it won't last. To the folks that God has committed into the hand of Israel OLADELE, his friends, church members, well-wishers, associates, I bring you God's word. That you should not grieve for Israel OLADELE Genesis. He is fulfilling the scripture. There is no testimony without a test. There is no promotion without an examination. There is no professional without an experience. You have to go through it for you to scale through it. You have to break for you to have a breakthrough. He's in the process of breaking now. Please don't grieve for him, because you will pay your own dues when your own time comes. We just don't know what your own will come. What I pray for you is that may God grant you grace to carry your cross. For the glory that he foreknew, talking about Jesus, this is what the Bible says. For the glory that he foreknew, he despised the shame and bear the cross, and is right now, he's seated at the right hand of the Father, and God has highly exalted him and giving him a name that is above every other name. For the glory that he foreknew, because of the glory, the reason why he was given shame was the glory. He saw shame because of the glory that is ahead of him. For the glory that he foreknew, he despised the shame. He bare the cross. Israel Oladele is bearing his own cross now. He's bearing his own cross. Please don't grieve for him. Pray for him, that God will give him the grace to bear. In the journey of life, there is no elevator. We only have steps. To every step that you skip, by trying to cut corners, and God will take you back, you will take it. God wants you to take steps. There is no elevator. You will not escalate to the top overnight. God don't do magic. God do miracles. He's taking his own step right now. It is Jesus that he's serving. Even that Jesus, with the supremacy of his power. The Bible says, he that know no sin was made a sinner, so that by his sin we might become the righteousness of God. For him to fulfill his destiny, for Jesus to fulfill his destiny, he was nailed to the cross. He didn't just die. He was murdered like a thief. He died the death of a criminal for him to fulfill his destiny. But today, at the sound of his name, every knee bow in heaven and on earth and under the earth. Israel Oladele is carrying his cross. He's paying his due. It is part of the package. It is part of the package. Let us pray for him. If you can gather to pray for him, give for him. In your quiet times, pray for him. Don't waste your time. Hear me. The Spirit of God asked me to warn all of you in Genesis and all of his friends. When I was reflecting it and I was praying about this before I come online, God said I should warn you. And I'm very serious. The Spirit of God said I should warn you. Do not curse his enemy because he doesn't have anyone. There are people who have allowed the devil to use them for him to fulfill his cause. Paul Plato is not the enemy of Jesus. Those that crucify him, the ones that send Paul and Silas today, they are not his enemy. They are part of the process for him to fulfill his destiny. Hear me. Instead of cursing his enemy, pray for him to have grace to carry through. Because hear me very well, he will come out of this sooner than you expect. And he will come out victorious, he will come out better. Lastly, to you, whatsoever things that are good, whatsoever things that are pure, whatsoever things that are of good report, if there be any virtue, if there be any praise, think about these things. Don't you ever leave any stone unturned. Guard your heart with all diligence, for out of it are issues of life. May God bless you, may God keep you. May his face continue to shine upon you. I will see you next time. My name is Victor King. Enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you.
Kimo kò máa gbọ́dọ̀ jọ.
good days.